The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abigail. Welcome back to the Rogue Room. How are you doing, you lovely, lovely people? The bitches bastards. Or something. What do I call you? What do I call the group of people that tend to hang around my streams? I have long ruminated on this very concept. How's it going, folks? What have you been up to? How's your day been? I don't have a water bottle in the room with me at the moment, so coffee will have to do. Just had a panic attack. Well, that's not good. Well, I hope I can be a good distraction for you. Can I start us off with some comedy? Can I start us off with a little bit of comedy? Look at this fucking tweet. Is it a hate crime when someone calls me a cis woman, even though I despise that term and am deeply offended by it? Ma'am, shut the fuck up. What's going on? Beautiful as always, thank you. I always get really honestly self-conscious of my... Oh look, you watch men jumping on each other. Sounds good, dude, sounds good. I honestly like compliments on my appearance. You know, we shouldn't pride them too much. Hello Midnight, how's it going? We shouldn't put too much stock in compliments solely on appearance, but it does help me a lot in the days following getting laser done. Especially because, like, this whole area, you know, after magic, there you go. I'll say this. I'm going to keep going on about the laser thing because it's still sticking out. After getting the laser done, all the hairs get really, like, that whole area gets really thick and irritated. The skin gets really bumpy and all the little, I think the hairs, like, sort of push through more as they're trying to fall out. It's a really weird process, the laser hair removal. I can't remember all the finer details, but at the very least, this whole beardy area makes me ugly, and I hate it a lot. Which is why I'm doing the laser in the first place. But, yeah, it's kind of gross. It's really gross. I've also been looking into it a little bit. It seems like you're not supposed to shave. I waited for 24 hours after I had the last session done before I shaved. They said that's fine. The people who do the clinic say that a day after is fine. You can shave at 24 hours after. So, I don't know what the problem is, but I've seen some stuff online saying, I guess maybe depending on different laser treatments, because there's a variety of different laser treatments you can get, different types of lasers. There are some of them where it says, like, don't shave for 5 days, don't shave for 10 days. I'm like, the fuck? Maybe wait on it? Nah, I've heard that, I forget what I heard on. I've been doing the laser for like 7 months now, though. I started it, before I started taking anything, honestly. And now it's just a routine. So, it's possible the hair will thin out. I should stream it. I could try that. I could try like an IRL stream. Go in, get my laser did. Howdy, Gingerbeard man, how's it going? Honestly, tried to throw $20 into GameStop this morning, only to realize your broker decided you didn't deserve the privilege of free market capitalism, and we're going to get into that. I am actually considering, as a joke, throwing $10 that I have actually got the tiniest bit of savings, which honestly, I don't see staying in there for the week ahead, because budgetary constraints. I'm going to need to spend that money on groceries or something eventually, or fuel, sorry. But Dogecoin seems to be trending upwards, and I'm considering throwing $10 at Dogecoin and seeing what happens. Hello Ronan, how you doing? What's going on? But yeah, I saw this tweet like right before I went live. I'll just bring this back up again. This is fucking hilarious to me. Is it a hate crime when someone calls me a cis woman, even though I despise that term and am deeply offended by it? And the comments are just a nightmare of even more transphobia. Absolute TERF Central. I found TERF Central on Twitter. Goodness gracious me. What a bunch of idiots. They desperately want to be, victims of something, right? They want to be the victims of something, despite the fact that they're victimizing other people. Send it? What, the $10 to Dogecoin? Oh, you need a budget. You started tracking your cash savings. That's good. That's good. The only cash savings I've got is coins at the moment. I've got a little coin jar in my kitchen that I just put whatever coins I get, but generally speaking, everything's done on card these days, so I don't do any cash stuff. They want to be victims without any of the negative aspects of being marginalized. Bad about breaking someone's arm. How did you manage that? How did you accidentally break someone's arm? Yeah, fuck TERFs, absolutely. Fuck TERFs. Again, another, you know, we can go back to Natalie's video from the other day. J.K. Rowling. ContraPoint's latest video talks very heavily about the TERF thing because of course it does. Actually, the whole video is a TERF breakdown. Should so watch it. 90 minutes of just amazing. Got a lot of people playing victim. Keyword playing. These people are obvious, not obviously. Maybe not obviously to some people, but they always are. Incredibly privileged. I just realized I haven't got any like pretty jewelry on. I got my ring on. I'm gonna put my necklace on, which is gonna be weird because there we go. It's gonna go. No, that's not gonna work. It's gonna be intertwined with my headset now, my headphones now. It. People are always the exception or the victim. True. There are the major issue I've noticed with the TERFs. Yeah, is it tends to be. We can come back to the cult thing from last night about the white supremacists, right? Is there always tends to be an intellectual person leading the pack in some way, shape, or form that is leading a lot of less intelligent individuals. Let's be honest with ourselves. So these people are easily swayed by ideologies that make them feel like they are in the right to feel victimized by these things, especially if they are majority people. You know, majority people who have a lot of privilege and don't have a reason to feel like they're actually the victim of anything. And thus, they see other people that have issues and think to themselves, well, they've got issues. Surely there must be something I can feel sorry for myself about. And then they'll find folks with these thought processes. They'll make a friend at their MLM selling group or something like that, and they'll tell them, oh, did you hear about them trans folks trying to break into women's bathrooms again? Exclamation mark rules would be the thing. Turned a tank turret to your sergeant and heard someone screaming, oh goodness gracious. The Christians are the big ones in the US. Oh no, we can't force others to be Christian. We're being oppressed. Help! I'm being repressed. It's great. It's fantastic to watch people who have every... This is the thing, is like they have every little thing handed to them on a silver platter, these people, honestly. And I've got a lot of privileges myself, and I acknowledge those, I check those. But at the same time, it's like I am a person who is very much at risk of... If I come across a big mean transphobe, they could definitely just decide to beat the shit out of me for the sake of my existence. And there was a video. We could talk about something other than transphobes in a minute, trust me, believe me. But I just thought this tweet was fucking hilarious. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. Hate crime to call you a cis woman. Like bugger off. Oh my god. The thing that struck me was I saw another tweet earlier. Did I retweet it? I feel like I did. Where is it? I think I did. With a bit of commentary on it. Oh god, I've posted so much shit today. Where is it? I can't even find it now, honestly. But there was something about a do you remember the time that Black Lives Matter was happening in the US, right? And Donald Trump told his supporters to exercise their Second Amendment rights. Do you recall that event? I might turn this up just a bit, so I've got a little bit more light and a little bit more frame rate. My frame rate looks like it's a bit choppy tonight for some reason. If it looks choppy, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, you might distinctly recall Donald Trump telling his fan base, hey, yeah, Donald Trumpet. No, the trumpets are his supporters. Yeah, you'd probably recall him saying to his fan base, his voter base, whatever. What was it? Yeah, words to the effect of, regarding the protesters, exercise your Second Amendment rights, right? he's saying that to, generally speaking, white people, privileged people. You got to get some sleeps radio, Ren. Have a good one. Thank you so kindly for swinging by. Sorry, let me get my... I need to go get my water, I think. Yeah, hold still for a sec. Let me go get my water. We'll come back. I'm not going to put the Be Right Back screen up. Stay there. Alright, we're hydrating now. It's all good. One. Two. There we go. We had 2 hydrates. Okay. As far as I recall, there might be more of them. I don't know. Posture check. Keep your back straight, children. Make sure that you are sitting upright. And keep your arms to your sides. I don't even know. What do you do with a posture check? What do people do with a posture check? I don't even know. Do we stretch? Do we arc our back a little bit? Anyway. Anyway, the Second Amendment rights thing. So, obviously, Donald Trump, the Donald, went and said to his voter base during the height of the protests when things were supposedly getting violent in certain areas and things like that, which was, it still seems like the majority of the violence came from police towards the protesters, but whatever. He encouraged people to go out and shoot. Check the spine, neck, and shoulders. Okay. Make sure we're all good and dandy. I think we are. And he was encouraging civilians, armed civilians, to go out and shoot protesters. Just shoot them dead. And recently there was a video. I couldn't find it just now. I'm sure I commented on it or retweeted it or something. But I guess today has been particularly hectic. I'm sure it was today. I don't even have my Twitter up anymore. And there was a video of a woman saying virtually the same thing regarding trans women in bathrooms. And she was saying words to the effect of, men, maybe you carry, maybe you don't, inferring carrying a weapon. And she's going on about, think about, your mothers and your sisters and your wives and your cousins and your aunties and your grandmothers and all that. And she's like really trying to sympathize and moralize it. She's really trying to go hard on the moralizing part of things. Making it seem like there's a big issue. And she's saying, maybe you men that might be carrying firearms that can kill a person, maybe, just possibly, maybe, you should start going into women's restrooms, maybe, possibly, with your M16, maybe, if you see a tranny and you unload an entire magazine into them, perhaps, possibly. Might be a fun little thing you could do. This is basically what she was uttering. She's trying to be as subtle as she possibly could, but she was not subtle at all. And we already have the fear of. This seems to be a thing that there are transphobes that are already typically TERFs. There are TERFs. Trans exclusionary radical fascists, well, feminists, who are already carrying around pepper spray, pistols, and things like that, for the fear that they might catch a trans woman. We had my friend Dallas in here, my close friend Dallas, who is lovely, and her girlfriend were both in here last night, and they are, quite honestly, and they say this themselves, they're not the most effeminate women, and they've had issues with some women taking a second glance. And thinking to themselves, is that a woman sort of thing? And it's like, that's all it takes. That's all it takes with one of these psychotic TERF types, is to misjudge a person. And even then, it's not a justification by any stretch of the imagination, but, why are you thinking, going into a public bathroom, that you need to take a firearm in there, judge someone at a glance, and shoot them? Furthermore, the concept of telling men to start using, men, real men, alpha males, all of that other stupid masculine bullshit. Telling the mans to go into female restrooms with their firearms. Zoom. Trying to get better at it. I don't know, when do you trigger zooms? Also, My frame rate is fucked, dude. Is it just me? It's saying it's 30 FPS, but it looks like I really feel choppy. I feel choppy. Look at... Why is it... Maybe that... I could fiddle with my cam settings a bit. Want to know what is funny as fuck? Sure, hit me. I am a communist spy, yes. How did you guess? Or Marxist, one of the two. I am Marxism personified. Is it? Oh, maybe it's the autofocus and there we go. That's why my lighting looked weird. Oh my god, it was too bright. Bloody hell. I was looking at it this whole time. I keep glancing over and I'm like, what's wrong with my lighting? Why is it so saturated? That's why. Yeah, that's the one. That's what it was. There we go. Now we're at... This is the chill zone. I'm still very, very... framey, though. Maybe I'm the only one seeing it, but usually my stream is not this choppy. The camera. I don't know. Usually I got a higher frame rate than this. Putin is very anti-communist is the funny one. I know Putin is one of them fellows who does not believe in democracy. He's very authoritarian as far as I know. I think. Russia under Vladimir Putin. Let's have a look at this, then we'll come back around to the hedge funds thing. Because I wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I'm not 100% fully informed on exactly what what the hedge fund deal is. I know bits and pieces. I've been picking up whatever's going on Twitter and the memes and stuff, but I don't know the actual finer details of it. So I want to like look into some information from people who do know what they're talking about. So we're gonna discuss that. Seat Moscow Kremlin. So he's the president. Has served 3 terms and is currently in a 4th as president of Russia. 2000 to 2004, 2004 to 2008 to 2012 to 2018, and May 2018 to present. So why did the term length change? Oh no, there must... Okay, no. There was a different president from 2008 to 2012. Really? I thought he'd been in the role of president for the longest time, like 30-something years. I guess it's only been 20... Well, not even 21 of them yet, technically. Okay. But technically only about 16? No, I'm not doing that correctly. My math is off there. 15. A lot of people mistaken you as a gay person because you have ponytailed hair and say, oh, why are you gay? What? What is wrong with people? Why are you gay? Like, that's a question. That's a remark. Why would you make that remark? Call him Daddy in Mother Russia. What was with the wide Putin meme? I never understood that. I never understood the wide Putin meme. That got around for a bit. One of those ones where I'm just like, I'm just gonna let people who know of this meme have it. I have seen the African news video. I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen the meme part. You're not straight and you're not gay. Fantastic. Fuck sexuality. Fuck sexuality. As a topic of discussion. Can we stop discussing people's sexuality? Garmin's just a crab. Perfect. That one isn't entirely offensive because the anchor is genuinely confused. I mean, that's fair. If people were to ask you, why are you trans, for example? Me, in this case. Why are you trans? I'd be like, why are you cis? You know, what do I say there? What's the remark I make? How do I snap back at you? Trans NB Pan as well, welcome in. I mean, you're already here. I just mean, like, you know, we encourage and welcome all queer folks around these parts. You can't just ask people why they're gay. I haven't seen that movie. I haven't seen Mean Girls. I know that line is a reference to it, but I'm still very much on the cusp of, like, I call myself a lesbian, and I don't find any man attractive. But there's a part of me that's just like, you know, maybe I'm generally speaking pansexual, but at the same time the situation is I do not find a single man attractive. period. So I find only women attractive. What up, Slash? How's it going, dude? What's going on? Welcome in. May as well be like, why are you white? You can't just ask people why they're white. I do need to watch it. I've seen bits and pieces of it. Emma Stone is always amazing. Why are you ginger?
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy
Give me a
your stay.
wedgie. Oh, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and hang out with us. Can you ask a serious question? I will try my best to answer it, sure. You gay because you find people who present the same way you do to be attractive. Well, I mean, that's fair. Actually, that's a good discussion to have. How many men? Okay, let's ask this let's ask this question with regards to heterosexual males. Heterosexual men, right? Men who present as masculine, men who get around in their masculinity and go after the ladies who happen to be very ladylike. How many of them do you think are actually genuinely just attracted to femininity and not specifically women? Do you think there is some kind of sociological idea there that perhaps there are a bunch of men who perhaps are not willing to admit, but I'll freely admit, you know, I did find quite a few trans girls attractive when I was presenting as a dude. And I dare say there's probably a lot of dudes like that. You know, and this is unfortunate. This fun unfortunately leans into the idea of fetishization. You think you like multiple people, you're terrible with feelings. I'm terrible with feelings. What up, Bromar? How you doing? So how to handle extreme love deprivation depends on what you mean. What do you mean about extreme love deprivation? What exactly do you mean, perhaps? The kind of thing that, I'm going to say the naughty word. Are you ready? I'm going to say the naughty word. Incels. Is that what you mean? Like, do you mean the kinds of people who are in such a position where they feel that they are not adequately able to find romantic love? This is actually really good stuff. I like this discussion. Let's keep on this track for a little bit, and then we'll talk about the stocks. I promise. A pinky promise. Here's my pinky. You can't see it because the ring light is so bright. I'm gonna pinky promise. We will come to the stocks thing. We will come to the stock exchange thing, the free market thing. We'll do it. Pinky promise. You got to use your pinky. You got to put it there. And we pinky promise. I skipped it last night. I'm sorry. We will get to it. Promise you this. Am I imagining things? I swear I'm not imagining things. My camera is seriously framey right now. What up, Captain Oblivious? How's it going? So anyway, they went after girls. So you know someone like that. They went after girls, but they were openly bi and admitted to liking femboys, but not in a weird fetish way. More attracted to smaller twinks and femboys, because they're usually not dickheads. Okay. You find very few men attractive who present. Very few N attractive. Few men. Okay, it was men. Very few men attractive who present as men, even if they are pretty femme, but you don't think you can claim 100% straight. I think I see what you mean. In your experience, twinks and femboys are nicer than dudes who go to the gym. Hey, I go to the gym. And I'm gonna freely admit something. I know exactly what you mean, Broken. I was that guy. Oh, dude, no, seriously, I was that asshole who would lift and try to be as macho as I possibly could. But that came from a position of trying my hardest to be as masculine as I possibly could, and there was a lot of anger, a lot of aggression, trying to be as don't come near me, bro. That was my whole thing. And it was a very big facade. I had to work at it. It was mentally exhausting, honestly. Just everyone stunning. There's one girl you like, that's that. Well, there you go. Joe Biden or Donald Trump? I'll go with Joe Biden. I'd prefer not to have either of them. They're both pretty bad. But, and this is the thing. I fully agree with the idea that, you know, just because Joe Biden is in the presidency, we cannot go back to brunch. I'm not involved in American politics as an Australian, but you know, there's still the idea that It does affect a lot of the world. It affects more than America. Whatever America's doing affects more than America. Just put in AOC. Yeah, fuck it. Go ahead. I'm trying to get my hair to sit correctly. I want to get my hair done. I don't know what to do with it. If anyone knows what the fuck to do with my hair, please enlighten me. I'm considering coloring it silver. I don't know. But that would cost me a lot of money that I don't have. Do other single people feel like you? You're single, you feel so much pain without a partner. I've been there. You can do my hair, please do. Let's talk about single. Let's talk about the single thing for a moment. You know what? I'm going to put a marker in this. I'm going to put a stream marker in this because I do want to talk. I do want to talk about being single, relationships, romance, and all that kind of stuff. Because this is going to become a big thing going into February. You know what February 14th is? Valentine's Day. And we're going to see quite a few people, especially on social media and the like, who are going to be having their routine bitch and moan about the fact that they're single and that nobody loves them. And we do have to respect that while we might find that kind of attitude perhaps irksome, that is, honestly, I will say this right now, this is a bit of a tough love thing, but I'm not trying to be mean. There are going to be people who find lamenting about the lack of a relationship to be an annoying thing. That's just how it's going to be. But we do have to consider the fact that this is distinctly complaining about the lack of love and relationships you have in your life. It stems very deeply from a personal depressive episode. And in that regard, it's one of those things that, again, the tough love thing, and I do hate using this. I do hate this as an example. I do hate this as a sort of a gotcha almost that some people use. But there's that whole thing of you need to work on yourself before anyone else will love you. And that is explicitly ableist in its own way, especially if you're dealing with people who are depressed. And yeah, a big factor of depression is the self-loathing and self-doubt you feel that anyone will ever be able to love you. Turquoise, thank you for the hydration. Thank you so kindly for keeping me nice and wet. I'm speaking from a position of experience and a position of research. Because for the longest time, and I will come around to comments, I promise, I have spent a significant length of time of my life, notably my teen years. It wasn't until I was 20 or 21 before I even threw my V card in the trash. I hate that whole concept of virginity, the V card, all of that. Putting so much stock in having sex for the first time. Stupid social construct. Anyway, what up, Commander Skittles? How's it going? Hello. How you doing? Anyway, as we were saying, where was I going with this? Yeah. I had that period during my teens where I would see other people all the time getting around with their girlfriends. And here's me lamenting at the world. It's like, why don't I have a girlfriend? Why does anyone love me? And there was definitely a factor of, it's my fault. And you feel that too. You do feel that. And you do experience that. And you want to try your absolute best to move past it. But there's a roadblock in your head. And oftentimes that roadblock is the social expectation of the idea that you're required to have a partner. Now, don't get me wrong. Having someone there, having a partner there, having that relationship is very psychologically beneficial, of course. However, it is worth considering the idea that maybe it is the pressure of society. The fact that everyone expects you to have a partner, the fact that everyone expects you to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or all points in between. Society expects you to have a polycule in Montana, I don't know. And that social expectation feeds into the existing depression a lot of people have around their single status. So, with that being said, it is worth perhaps self-analyzing, looking into some other factors of being single. And yes, there are absolutely other people who feel alone and feel like they might never have a partner and feel like they might never overcome this hurdle. But I will say it takes a metric fuck ton of introspection to discover exactly what parts about you are attractive. because I'm of the belief that nobody is entirely unattractive. Nobody is, and that's not just physical, that's in a number of aspects. No matter what, there is invariably, I'm using that word incorrectly, hang on a second. I'm using that word so incorrectly in every case. Maybe not. No, I'm not using it correctly, but there is inevitably, perhaps, somebody out there who will find something about you that they like. And that, of course, can foster into a relationship. And the thing is, they don't need to find you a 10 out of 10. They don't need to find you perfect in every single way. They just need to be able to relate to you on a level that... What's the example I'm trying to think of here? There is an example here. Let me turn my screen off for a second. I had a bloody thought in my head and it's escaped me and I've lost it. We were on such a good track there. Where were we? What were we talking about? I wish I could rewind myself and listen back to what I just said. Let's go over some comments. You've been single most of your life and you're not claiming incel. You just don't feel that because you are... You don't feel that just because you are nice that anyone owes you any sort of relationship or intimacy. But nice in quotes because most incels aren't actually nice. You are correct. This is true. The incel thing is a festering of that loneliness. People become incels because they have spent... There are two primary reasons I would speculate. Number one is that they've already been sitting there festering in their loneliness for a long bloody time. We can almost verifiably state that, right? The second thing is they will start finding incel communities on the internet, and incel communities just breed that negativity about themselves to the nth degree. Like, they take the existing self-loathing that these incel people have and blow it up by a factor of 10. So you've got these toxic individuals who are feeding each other toxic ideas back and forth and making things worse for themselves rather than working on the things that they could improve. Anyway, as we were saying, you've been married for 15 years, been alone living with her for 7 years, now getting a divorce, and entirely do feel pain with no one. So you're using that energy to better yourself and to open yourself why you came out. So you can find a better match. Exactly, Captain Oblivious. Perfect. Hate people who call celebs fakers when they have a depressive episode. Yeah, I can understand that. I will say this. When I first heard that Sam Smith came out as non-binary, this was back before I had my own actualization, I believe. I was one of those people who eye-rolled at the concept. I know it's not the same thing. Inside my nose is itchy. Ow. But that's another thing. It's like when someone is a celebrity, if they experience any kind of normal people shit, normal people lose their shit about it. Quite routine. And yeah, virginity as a concept is terribly, terribly dumb. Thinking about the good old days of Minecraft beta. Oh, that was good. I wouldn't mind doing some more Minecraft at some point on stream. At some point. Not right away. Personal achievement: left the house for the first time since New Year's yesterday. Congratulations, Turquoise. Sorry I got off on a tangent there, and then I end up skipping a ton of chat, so we're catching up now. You don't have a mom and dad, and auntie and uncle, grandma and grandpa. Basically, you have no family members left. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You say you're happy though. So that's good. You hate when people tell you don't have a you have a girlfriend yet. That's the expectation. This is something I want to talk about in a video, in a lengthy format. I want to talk about the expectation of relationships, both the social pressure, familial pressure, and of course, like the sensation that we get from just being alone, honestly. It's okay to be single, partner will not fix all your problems, and while it can be nice, you have to be sure you're the person you want in another person. Exactly. Third genders are better because they are not like women, they don't want to rule over men, and women can't understand men, but third genders can. What? Try your best to go from thinking no one will ever love you to that you're just not attracted to a large amount of people, so you have a smaller chance, but still a chance. Everyone has a chance. Absolutely everybody does. When you first heard the term incel, you thought it was a conversation about tech. The new Incel Pentium 2 or whatever. I don't know what Intel does. It's not about attractiveness. You can be handsome and still be single if you don't take the time to make connections or take care of yourself. Yeah, like, I think especially with regards to men, given how often I hear women, straight women, talk about how they know sexuality is not a choice because they're attracted to men. I think one of the huge things about men, the attractiveness of men, is specifically confidence. Let me just get a bit of hydration in here. Ah, that's good shit. Yeah, one of the big things I think about the attractiveness of men is the confidence angle, the personality, the being able to be forthcoming about things. That's a huge deal, I think, for a lot of women, probably a lot of men. So I think that's a pretty huge factor in that regard, less so the physical attractiveness. Radio Broken, sounds good. Very happy to be with your BF Mylan. Sometimes you think you're lucky and think you're scared if you leave him, you'll never ever find somebody like him. I know that feeling. I was in a relationship once where I was very attached to the person, but I fucked it up and we decided to call it. And I was like, I said to myself, I'm never going to find somebody like her ever again. Especially, not now, especially now. for the record, since coming out, I have not been in a relationship. I have not dated. I haven't done that whole romancy thing. And I have no interest in it in any way, shape, or form just yet. You and your husband were friends for a year, didn't start a romantic relationship until you were forced into a closer relationship. His car broke down, you gave him rides home. If his car never broke down, probably would have continued letting him just be a friend. That's understandable. Like, circumstances can change around. This is another thing. This is something that I kind of did, which I'm regretful of. Is that I would try to make situations occur where I would be close to a girl and try to build that relationship, try to get emotionally close and whatever. And you can't have that. That's not how that works. You have to actually build a real connection with a person. And I've had that happen too. I've had that situation happen where I've been just chatting with someone for ages and we foster an actual emotional connection. And it feels like a good thing to be around that person. No matter physical attraction or anything of the like, you develop that connection. But at the same time, I've also had very physical relationships with people, if I don't need to go into further details, where one party, often not me, would get emotionally attached and the other side would be very emotionally attached. A porn-addicted incel since the pandemic lockdown started. Well, that's unfortunate. Are you working out? Are you cleaning your room, Simp King? Those are the two most important things. Work out and clean your room. Both attached and clingy to each other. I think it's not a dangerously clingy scenario, but more of the cute kind. Yeah. That's fine. I think there's someone. Oh my god, I'm itchy like right here, and I don't want to fucking fuck up my makeup. There's someone I am friends with. I think they used to be a streamer, but they're not now. Or they're taking a break or something. And they mentioned that they are definitely the clingy type with regards to their partner. But their partner is, obviously just as in love with them. So, that can work out. If you are that kind of clingy person, and if the other side is just as clingy too, it can work out for you. Of course it can. Closest friend, but now closest friend now, which was your first love, and sadly that had to be a secret. Oh, that's not good. Happy to just let your husband be an unrequited crush because the guys you like did not usually like you back. I understand that. Totally. When I got in my first real relationship, I was kind of, the issue was, after spending so long not being with someone, I had all these, and I think this was true for both of us, I had to discover how to be a partner, how to be that person. It was really unusual and unexpected. So there was a lot of a learning process there. Which I think some people expect that once they get into a relationship, everything is going to be perfect and dandy and fine and there's definitely the issue of the honeymoon phase, I think, that some people overlook, honestly. They'll get into a relationship and immediately they'll throw everything at the wall to see what sticks. And then things can simmer down. This is what happens. This is what happens when you'll see certain people will do this. They'll date a lot of people, and they'll date for like a month or two, and then they'll break it off, and they can't handle it anymore because they've done everything they could with this person. And I mean, it's just a factor of they tried as much romance as they possibly could and found out that the spark wasn't there. You know. Both young and in a long-distance relationship. You're positive it's going to work out and we'll live a fantastic and happy life together. Well, that's good. Before you met your husband, you had a guy you were basically settling for. He was a jerk, but you stopped caring after a while. That's another issue, of course, yeah. I think I definitely had that situation for a long time. I feel like it's mean to say, honestly, but there was definitely a lengthy relationship I was in where it felt like I was just settling. I was just like, this is fine. I don't care. I don't want to, I don't want to break up and be alone. But at the same time, I'm just like, I'm kind of just in this, just to have this thing. And now that I'm, on the tail end of all of that, now that all of that's in the past and I've been moving much closer towards working on me as the priority, I've realized that, it doesn't trouble me as much if I am alone. I am okay with this. And one of the big reasons for that is the focus I have now. The concentration I have to work on myself in as many ways as I possibly can. Excuse me, that's regarding working on content as well, working on my physical fitness, my diet. I felt constrained in relationships where I had to do what the partner wanted to keep them happy. Or else, if I went off and did my own thing, then I had the situation of like, well, if I do my own thing and I enjoy doing my own thing, this is actually, honestly, see my little dice over here? You can barely see them next to the Enderman little figurine. Or the dice bag, which is in the background. Let's light things up a bit and make me really pallid. You can see my little dice bag next to BB-8 with the dragon eye on it. This is a story. There we go. Trying to dim my lights again. Here's a dice bag. All right. This is rather symbolic. I've never actually used the fucking thing. I was in a situation a few years back, where I met some really good people. Started going to war games at my library, and my local library, and made some good friends, had some jolly good times. It was like every third or fourth Saturday or something. We got some dice here. And I was playing Kings of War, which is a little like a Warhammer knockoff, basically. Very cheap alternative to the real thing. Yeah, nerd. I want to go back to the libraries, actually. I want to start picking out some books and learning things. Crazy idea. But I did this for quite a while. I think it was over a year at the very least. Of me going almost monthly to this group of people, hanging out, playing war games, chatting about nerdy shit for upwards of 4 hours at a time on the weekend. We had a good old time of it. Every other weekend was spent with her, was spent with the partner. And you could tell that because I went off and I did my own thing, one time a month, she had intense disdain for the fact that my attention was not on her. She did not like it when I went off to go and play my war games. I would sometimes, say, oh, you mind driving me down to the library? Because I didn't feel like walking. It was only like 5-10 minute walk. I could always just walk there, Not a big deal. But sometimes, at the time I didn't have my driver's license. But there was that suspicion of like, I'm already spending most of my free time with you. And the one time I decide to go and involve myself with other people, to go and have a friendly rapport, banter, little gathering that doesn't involve you, you turn toxic on me. And that's possessive, I think. That's someone being possessive. And I do not... That's honestly one of the things that I fear getting into another relationship, is finding a partner who is otherwise fine. I mean, there were other issues than that, but we'll stick with this thing. I worry that, you know, find the perfect person, and then it turns out they're a fucking raging narcissist or something like that. I don't know. So I have the option here to stay by myself and focus on that. You digging this chill chat, Skittles? So am I. A cuddle buddy would be nice, and like, honestly, a friend with benefit. A friend with benefits would be nice too, but... Ha! My bot fucking legend. Botwick, thank you so kindly. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. Yeah, friend with benefits. I've been in that situation with a couple of different people. It's nice. It's a nice thing. And yeah, we don't like that word around here. We don't like that particular word around here because it's ableist. Also, what does that kind of person look like? That's a question. What does someone who fits that description look like? Anyway, wonder if she was pissed because you wasn't down the pub like normal. That's what it felt like, honestly. That's what it felt like, is I would go there, play my war games with my friends, and aside from the, you know, the lack of alcohol, generally speaking, we'd play for like an hour and a half, everyone would go get lunch, and we'd come back. And we'd all be sitting around with our KFC and our Pepsi, or whatever else everybody got. So we had that effective equivalent of, you know, sitting around, consuming products, and playing games. Yes, yes, that is the slow. Hello, Hecklin, I see you hiding there. Yeah, generally speaking, we don't want to refer to the word itself. We don't want to refer to the slurs themselves. Consider that a warning. Heckle just hiding there, over, just like in the corner. Banhammer just stuck over the shoulder. But yeah, I've been in the, you are a good mod. You're a lovely mod. Where was I going with this? Yeah, I've been in the awkward situation on numerous occasions where I have had the FWB. I have had that relationship a few times, and it's been fun. There have been times where it's like I was more attached than they were more attached than I was, that kind of thing. And the ones that get particularly attached are the ones I distance from very quickly, you know. So that's always a difficult thing. And I think one of the fortunate things, perhaps, is the fact that I'm a trans girl now, and still very early in my transition, let's be honest. The fact that I am in this position now means, you know, I have a much more limited dating pool, I think. Just generally speaking, I get the suspicion quite a few people wouldn't date me. And that's not a bad thing. Gotta go, Judy calls radio, Ronan. That reminds you. Here we go. Books or magazines? We'll do this. I'd get books. There you go. There's a poll for you. 2 minutes. Get your votes in. Have a damn good day. We will do our best. We will do our very, very best. We weren't supposed to be talking about relationships for an entire hour here, but I suppose that's been a topic. Oh, goodness me. On the first day of college orientation, some older classmates straight up asked you if you wanted to be their friend with benefits. I admire the confidence. I think, once you have a certain age, I get the suspicion you just stop giving a fuck and you're just like, you know what, I want to just do the sex. Can we just skip to that part? And, you know, though I have specified numerous times now that my horny gene is dead, the appeal is still there. of, you know, having just a casual hookup once every few weeks or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, whatevs. Books are winning by 4 votes. They're up at 6 votes. Goodness me. I have actually been trying to read books lately. I've been trying. I think I need to start on smaller books. I borrowed The Fictional Woman from my mother and I wanted to read that. I still do. I think I need to give myself more time because I wanted to use that as research for a video. But I think I'm going to have to give myself more time, be more patient with myself. So yeah. It's up by 5 votes. I think you're more or less... Oh, hang on. Yeah. You think you're more or less ace. You wanted sex to be with someone who loved you. That sounds like demisexuality. So in the case of demisexuality, it's you don't want to have sex with anyone you don't have a deep emotional connection to. Oh, hang on. I haven't voted. I'm voting books. I'm going with the majority. I'm doing the majority rule. I am female. See, that was the most feminine thing I could come up with. By the way, can I ask? That's a very weird question. You know, it's like, how often do you ask someone that in standard conversation? Yes, I'm gay as fuck. Another question where it's like, how often does that come up in date? Like, just treat me like you would any person you're talking to on a regular basis. If you were a
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We
urinated rubber boy.
Stay.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. These are weird questions to ask a person. Would you ask that of a person in real life if you had just met them for the first time? Hey guy, by the way guys, Prime Gaming comes with a free sub once a month. Why not support your favorite streamer by subbing right here at twitch.tv/sub/roguebitch? You should do that. Help me hit my very reasonable sub goal of 75. Jeez, that's a bit on the nose, isn't it? Today you'd learned that the vintage Minecraft console editions pre-Bedrock got the aquatic update. Really? Hang on, pre-Bedrock better together. There's a vintage. Oh no, yeah, I remember now. Yeah, there was versions of Minecraft on console. They had like a mini games menu, which I don't think is there in like the current version of the game. Yeah, I forgot that they were up to the aquatic update, and then I think they stopped updating that version of the game. But they had stuff like that gliding game and all that sort of thing that was there. And I don't know why they didn't stick with that. That was a really good idea, having those mini games in there. They had a version of Spleef as well. Talking Xbox 360, PS3, and early Xbox One, PS4. Yeah, that's right, I recall. You don't know if it's demi. Part of it is how you were raised, and hang on. Part of it was how you were raised, and second, some weird feeling of not wanting to be used. I understand that completely. Yeah, absolutely. Even the Switch had that version until it was discontinued. Hello, Autumn. I want to ask. I mean, yeah, we can say chill, come back and relax. I want to pose this question though to that particular person. You know who I'm referencing. I want to ask this particular question. Like, obviously, I don't suspect they would say this kind of shit to a person in real life. I generally speaking do not think they would. Hello, Dallas, lovely, how are you? I strongly get the suspicion they're only doing this because it's the anonymity of the internet. And I dreadfully fear that they have got a lot of insecurity issues in their real life. And to that end, you know, friend, if you are hanging around, I urge you, there are people out there who can help you with that. You know, if you have issues that you are struggling with and you are lashing out at people online you've never met before, people who have the confidence and the audacity to put their face on the internet, like this, 3 days out from my most recent laser appointment. So that whole area of my face is all like burned and itchy and sore. And yeah, I have had laser on my face, so that area looks darker as a result of it. And no matter how much makeup I pile on it, it's not going to change it really. Anyway, that is a time capsule of Minecraft. Well, that's the good thing about Java, at the very least. That's the good thing about Java, is you can go back and you can. I think I've still got. Does Minecraft have an update? Let's have a look. Let's launch Minecraft for the first time in a million years. We're not actually launching. We're not going to play it. But if we go down to... Oh. Well, now you know my account name. Hang on, let me have a look here. Oh, no, I can't bring it up now. It is a pretty background. I don't have my password in there, so I can't even check. Java Minecraft... I can't be bothered typing in my password right now. Java Minecraft has a menu that you can go back all the way back to like InfDev, way back at the beginning of the game. What's in the tank? That's Vess, my pet tarantula. If I turn the lights dim enough, she might come out and then we'll never see her because the lights are out. Cave game, fucking cave game. Welcome back, Ronan, by the way. Welcome back. How you doing? Yes, it's a spider. That is Vess. That is my tarantula. Yeah, you can go back as far back as Minecraft was conceptually, I think. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna put my damn password in. I'm gonna check. But the thing is, it's Java Edition. I don't care about that. It's only Java Edition, so, like, here we go. If we come to this. I don't know what it is with this. Maybe it's this monitor or something. But certain apps with, like, text on them and stuff will blur for some reason. I don't know why they do that. Let's see here. Installations. Let's go to installations. Let's go new installation, right? And we can go to latest release, and we can just scroll for a million years down to like old alpha. Let's try this, right? Let's try that. Game directory, wherever, normal. Create. Save. All right, let's go try this. Let's try old alpha and see what it does. Understand the risk. You're about to play a version of Java that does not support the latest player safety features. Who fucking cares? Might disagree. You still like Notch. He is a racist and a transphobe. Whoa! Holy shit! We're talking old Minecraft. I didn't realize that's how far back it goes. There's like no cursor. It's not even called Minecraft. Look at the top. Look at the top left. It's just called game. This is old Minecraft. Can I destroy? I can. Can I go up? No, I'm stuck now. Oh, okay, I'm in the block. Okay. Looks the same, and we've hit the end of the world. You only have... and exit just closes the game, that's it. We only have... Might be 2009, yeah. You only have, cobblestone and that grass block. And it just drops you in. This is amazing. It's like an old Windows screensaver. Like the cobblestone texture, dude, the nostalgia here hits like fuck. Oh, look, it's saved. I don't have a sprint button, by the way. I can't fly. I don't have a sprint button. It's saved all my other stuff. Anyway. That gives you a little bit of a glimpse of what you can do with the Java version of Minecraft. You can go back through every single development version. Is saved there for you to go back through, which is super fucking cool. I think my initial patch was like alpha 1 point. It was the one before the Nether update. Like the original Nether update, by the way. So we're playing alpha. And the Nether, whatever the update was. Where was it? So I was playing in the update before they released the Nether update, so I was playing in the lead up to that Halloween release. Song is a vibe, it is a good one. What is this one? This is Pixel Sunrise by Harris Heller. Anyway, yeah, I like me some Minecraft. I haven't played it in a minute. Honestly, this would be a good... Stream Beats would be a good soundtrack to play Minecraft too, to be honest with you. I could chill to some stream beats while playing some Mince Raft. But yeah, it gave me nostalgia as well, because I started playing in creative. You know, remember when there was creative or classic, Minecraft Classic on the website, and you could run around the world and just destroy every block, and you had like a bunch of blocks on a hotbar, and that was it. Oh no, you had a little menu you could pop up that gave you more blocks, sorry. But there were no real features. It was just a little building thing in browser. And actual Java Minecraft was a separate game you had to purchase the license to. That was back in 2010 when I purchased my copy of it. Dude, it's been 11 years that I've been playing Minecraft. And yeah, with Notch, I haven't been following him for a while, so I don't know what he's getting up to these days. As far as I can recall, it turns out he's a bit of an asshole, so I've just sort of distanced myself from him. And the game has been largely the rest of Mojang since whenever he sold it. It's been, honestly, what, since 2012, 2014? When did Notch sell Minecraft? When did Notch sell Minecraft to Microsoft? September 2014. Person sold out to Microsoft in a $2.5 billion cash deal. I can tell you he's not in poverty. Can we talk about this on the subject? Should we on the subject of money?
Welcome to the Rogue
Rich
Room.
people. Peanut butter
We
jelly
hope you
time.
Enjoy your stay.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. How are you doing? How you going? You'd love a classic Minecraft server on a version that's still retro but playable and full of content. That'd be tricky to do, but yeah. Excuse me. Oh, hang on. I gotta that should not be coming up anymore. That link will not take you anywhere. There is no actual merch. I don't know why that still shows up. Let me have a look here. Why is that still there? Delete. Hecklin used what? What? Just eating breakfast? Sounds good, sounds good. What do you got for breakfast? There we go. I gotta get rid of that. I deleted my Teespring page because I don't agree with their policies. You don't know what you do. I don't know either. Thought it was a ban request. We do have access to ban requests. Do I have? No. Damn it! Dude. Oh, hang on. I've done something. Fuck. Stay where you are, chat. I have moved everything. Fuck. I've opened up moderator view, and now I don't know how to get out of it. Help. Someone send help. I don't know what I have done. Pop out chat. There we go. Bring my chat back, please. There we go. Go away, moderator view. I don't need you. Alright, you gotta go back to your corner. Welcome back, Turquoise. Pureed nut and strawberry relish reduction spread on a warm toasted brioche. Nice, nice. I want to buy a GameStop. Let's talk about the GameStop thing. So, let's get right into the nitty gritty of it. There was a post that went up on Twitter that explained the whole situation because everyone is talking about what the fuck is going on. So thank you whoever explained this. Reddit is incredible. This is what this person has tweeted. So we're going to talk about what the situation is and why everyone's freaking out about the GameStop stocks, and I think they're freaking out about Dogecoin now and all this other shit. It seems like a lot of people are crashing the stock market or something's going on. So, the story goes like this. I know at least one of my followers doesn't quite understand what is happening in the stock market right now, and that's enough to motivate me to explain because this is somewhat of a turning point in world history. First, you need to understand what a short is in trading. A short is when you borrow a stock from a broker and sell it immediately at its current price. Then you hope the stock's price falls at such that you can buy the stock back at a lower price and return the shares you borrowed to your broker, but keeping the difference. Let's say I want a short XYZ, which has a current price of $10. I borrow one share and sell it immediately at $10.
The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
Batch, thanks so kindly for the host, Friendo, for recommending us to all your friends and viewers and fans and followers. Hope you're doing well, by the way, Batch. So let's say I want a short XYZ, which has a current price of $10. I borrow one share and sell it immediately at $10. I have $10 now, but I owe my broker the one share I borrowed. Then let's say the price of XYZ drops to $7. I now decide to buy it back, my short position and buy one share at $7 and return the one borrowed share to my broker. I made $10 when I sold and only had to pay $7 to buy it back lower, so my profit is the $3 difference. But now let's say instead of the XYZ price dropping to $7, it goes up to $15. I still need the one borrowed share to my broker, except now it's going to cost me a lot more to buy it back. If I buy it back at $15 so I can return the borrowed shares, my losses will be the $5 difference between selling at $10 and rebuying at $15. Since the price can rise indefinitely, my potential losses as a short seller are unlimited. At some point, I might have to buy it back and return the shares I borrowed. The more the price rises, the bigger my losses. Okay, now for GameStop. A few weeks ago, a Redditor on our Wall Street Bets noticed that a hedge fund had taken a massive amount of short trades against GameStop. They convinced everyone on the thread to join forces and buy as much GameStop stock as possible. This made the price rise and the hedge fund's short position started to lose billions. Their losses even surpassed the $13.1 billion that the hedge fund was worth. Eventually, the hedge fund had to close their short positions and buy all the GameStop stock back at much higher prices, sending the price even higher still. This is called a short squeeze. Now the hedge fund is declaring bankruptcy and the Reddit thread is combing through other hedge funds with massive short exposure so they can short squeeze them into bankruptcy as well. All of Wall Street is saying that the public joining together in this fashion should be illegal, but really they just lost at their own game to the masses. So, I hope that covers it. That's an explanation of what the situation is right now. I'll leave you guys with the actual comment there so you can have a look at it if you're interested. But that quite frankly doesn't really explain the whole thing. I still feel like there's more to it. There's also this situation here. So there is an app. Let's have a look here. There is an app called Robinhood, which is very ironically named because it specifically deals with these big wealthy trader types, right? Let's see if I can find a good article that explains this whole situation. Actually, you know what? I think there was one. I think there was one that I had saved. Here we go. What the heck? This song started to remind me of the Firelink Shrine music from Dark Souls. Why is this playing a video? Don't autoplay a video. So, why is everyone talking about GameStop? So is anyone interested in this, or should we just skip the topic and go back to talking about sex? We can talk about sex if you want. More hydration, I'll take it. Sex, I mean, I like the topic of sex. It's not illegal and it should stay that way. Fuck the rich. So, yeah, agreed. So we did explore this topic a little bit. This is a much more detailed breakdown of the same thing. Or where else would we like to go with the sex topic? We can change the title and stick with the sex topic if you want. They've they found the default texture pack image. Yes, the default texture pack seed, where like the image on like when you make a world or something, or like, oh yeah, when you make a server, sorry. Yeah, someone found the seed for that. Someone found PewDiePie's seed. Someone, I don't know how they fucking do this, but somebody has found the seeds of a number of different prominent Minecraft YouTubers and things like that. Don't the fuck ask me how they do it. You're very interested in the stonks. I wanted to talk less about the stock side of things and more about the poverty side of things. More about wage inequality, honestly. Because the situation with this, right, is that, of course, the Wall Street trader types... We can cycle back around to sex a little bit later on, and I'm going to fix my fucking cameras because they're annoying me that it's so fucking framey right now. I don't know what's going on. This one has got a... I swear, I'm imagining it, maybe. But I don't know how to explain it. What I'm seeing is not the smooth frame rate I've had in recent streams. Also, I just like the fact that I can do this. I just do this. Posture check. There we go. So, keep your back straight. Shoulders back. Neck. This is cool. I want to do like a picture-in-picture thing with this, which would be pretty easy to do, honestly. This camera though is not like, again, I have this issue that I'm gonna have to figure out with the, what's it called? I can't adjust that. Exposure? No, that's not. That's got auto exposure on. Not quite what I wanted. It's not actually highlight. It's a it's just a glittery eyeshadow that I just put on my cheeks. I do need to get some like good highlighter because the highlighter I've got is fucking garbage. Oh, I just looked at my mug and it's empty. I do like it. I like the way that looks. I used to wear just like a pink blush there and it looked stupid. So I'm happy with like putting some glimmery stuff there. Looks nice. So what actual sex were we talking about? Well, the fact that I'm not having any, but at the same time I'm not interested in having any. Yeah, I don't know. I want to allow you guys to redirect the conversation a little bit. Because if you don't want to talk, if nobody's really interested that much in talking about the stocks thing, like I've mentioned before, I do want to talk about wage inequality specifically. I do want to talk about people in poverty and the idea that this could lead to some... I mean, the major thing with this is we're seeing so much money allegedly being lost from these stockbrokers, these
Welcome
stonks
to
people.
the Rogue Room. We hope
Lemon
you enjoy
Poodle.
your stay.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay. Sorry. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with his friend. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome in. Yeah, raise the minimum wage, but then that's... I agree. I'm going to say that right now. I agree. Raise the minimum wage. So what is a hedge fund? What's a hedge fund? Right? I don't know what a hedge fund is. Hedge fund definition. This annoys me. I looked this up, and the first website, I've looked up a few things. I've looked up debt. I've looked up poverty. Investopedia is the first thing that's coming up now, and I don't know why that is. And I get the suspicion, I don't know like where this site came from. I get the suspicion there's been some collusion here, and Google is boosting this page over Wikipedia, who's been dropped down to like the third result behind news and videos, top stories. I don't trust this website. I get the feeling they have a bit of obviously a slant towards people who make money doing this kind of bullshit. Borrows people's money to invest in those stocks they short sell and make a profit on. There you go. Are alternative investments using pooled funds that employ different strategies to earn active returns or alpha for their investors. Hedge funds may be aggressively managed or make use of derivatives and leverage in both domestic and international markets. This is a bunch of fucking buzzwords. This is buzzwords. Can't understand any of this. I'm gonna have to have a citation for every other word. Fuck me dead. I can't manage that shit. Not having any either. You're a luxury if you can afford. Good. Yeah, Wikipedia is probably a better bet. So, an investment fund that trades in relatively liquid assets and is able to make extensive use of more complex trading, portfolio construction, and risk management techniques to improve performance, such as short selling, leverage, and derivatives. That's the same shit. Financial regulators restrict hedge fund marketing to institutional investors, high net worth individuals, and others who are considered sufficiently sophisticated. Bougie fuckwits, basically. Market liquidity is a market's feature whereby an individual or firm can quickly purchase or sell an asset without causing a drastic change in the asset's price. Okie dokie. Hedge funds are regarded as alternative investments. Their ability to make more extensive use of leverage and more complex investment techniques distinguishes them from regulated investment funds available to the retail market, such as mutual funds, and exchange-traded funds. They are also considered distinct from private equity funds and other similar closed-end funds. This is so much bullshit. Good lord. These people deserve to lose their money. Holy fucking shit, they use so much terminology that twists and weaves around on itself. Fucking hell. I don't have the patience to learn this shit. Fucking hell. That's not what I wanted to... Nah. And well, so where are we? So what happened on Friday? That was yesterday. You zoned out. I'm zoning out too. I don't quite get this. I need someone to explain this to me. Like we had the breakdown of exactly what happened. I got that. I got the breakdown, which I have here. This thing, which I linked up in chat a little bit earlier. Is that? Yeah, that one. If you guys want to read this, which explains things in fairly layman's terms. The examples used here is very explain like I'm 5 kind of thing, which is good. That explains the GameStop situation. That explains what's going on there. So we get the gist. It definitely seems like, you know, rich people with lots of stocks, bad, not good. Rich people with lots of stocks, not good. They are the bad guys because they have a lot of money. You know what strikes me though about this whole thing? Where is the Twitter? It's still there. It's still fucking there. Okay, so on Holocaust Remembrance Day, yesterday, or rather the 27th for Americans, PragerU tweeted this: "The free market will set you free." Why would you post this on Holocaust Remembrance Day? A lot of people making references to this. Arbeit macht frei is a German phrase meaning work sets you free or work makes one free. Why would they post this on a day of remembrance for the Holocaust? That this was a slogan, work sets you free, was a slogan at Auschwitz, right? PragerU, of course, being a prominent right-wing YouTube network, it's an absolute, and this is of course in response to the whole free market thing, which is what's going on right now. What if they did it and not know? I guarantee you they knew. There is no possible way, especially with them leaving the tweet up regarding all the backlash. They absolutely did this intentionally. Like, this is as mask off gets. And Dennis Prager is Jewish, which makes it even more strange. These people have a tendency to go for the Jews for reasons that escape me. Very uncomfortable. So the situation, of course, like let's talk about the free market, right? Let's talk about the idea of the free market trading. And this is why people are kind of pissed off with what's going on with, say, Robinhood, the Robinhood situation. Is it shut down or whatever it is? So we'll come to the Robinhood thing in a moment. Actually, we'll start with this. So in response to the GameStop thing, and it was also AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Nokia. The shares you would not have been able to purchase as of January 28th, as of yesterday, or the day before, because it's been a confusing few days and these are probably using American dates. But Robinhood is an online brokerage firm that prides itself on making it easy to buy and sell stocks. But if you're a user of this popular trading platform, you'd have found it impossible to buy a few specific stocks on Thursday. In regards to this whole short selling thing, Robinhood shut down the sale of stocks of GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Nokia. Yeah, this is talking about that. I'm talking about that. In a release statement, Robinhood provided a solid justification for shutting down trades of GameStop shares, as well as for trades of other stocks mentioned, but many weren't satisfied with the brokerage's explanation for its actions, and Robinhood has now indicated it will change course, allowing limited purchasing of GameStop's shares starting Friday. So, the situation, of course. People are furious because this is absolutely a direct response to the fact that people have absolutely skyrocketed the market value of GameStop, made those stocks worth so much more money. I believe there is somebody who bought so much stock that he's actually lost $15 million on this gamble. And the situation is, of course, that. And I wish I had known this was happening. I might need to get in on Wall Street bets or something like that. Make myself some stock money. And next time they decide to raid a particular stock, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Here's why they decided to shut down GameStop trading. Suspended the ability to buy shares of GameStop, were only allowed to sell their positions, not open new ones or add existing holdings in GME. So, we continuously monitor the markets and make changes where necessary. In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to positions closing only. So, the reason that people are pissed off... is, of course, this kind of thing, the thing that happened with GameStop, is simply a factor of the market. This is a factor of the free market. If the people who own shares or who want to buy shares or whatever the situation is, want to buy stocks, if they decide we're going to do this to this stock, that's a whole part of the gamble. This happens all the time, right? This is what happens in the free market. But the free market has decided this section of the market's not going to be free anymore because people who don't have as much money as the people who run these hedge funds, for example, people who are inevitably very pissed off about the fact that they're losing money. Yeah, a lot of rich people mad on Twitter about what they did yesterday, exactly. In one particular instance, there was an interview with some old rich white dude who was pissed off saying this is an attack on the wealthy. Like, yeah, of course it is, dipshit. That's the point. You have too much income. You have too much money, and people have decided, you know what? We're going to take some of that money away from you. We're going to fuck your gamble up. And they do not like the fact that their gamble got fucked up. Because of course they don't. And now they're trying to make themselves feel empathetic or something like that. This is an attack on the wealthy. Oh no. Man's almost at the end of his lifespan. It's not like he needs the money exactly. Ridiculous. You think part of Robinhood closing these stocks was because they were being in trouble with other brokerages because they are more convenient and are less formal brokerages, more to protect itself than hedge funds. Inevitably, though, people don't care. They just see it as protecting the market. The allegedly free market, by the way. Had shares in Nokia, you sold that day because once you learned it was day traders, you didn't want shares to go negative. That's understandable. I want their money, too. I want money. I want lots of money. I want tons and tons of money. Just give me all of the money so I can be satisfied with my life. Reasonable sub goal of 75, guys, by the way. You can get a fancy little pixelated X badge next to your name if you feel like it. Help me break into the free market. I'll buy some shares and make myself rich. So, what did they say here? The statement, which was also posted to Robinhood's website and sent via email to its millions of users, also went on to say, amid significant market volatility, it's important as ever that we help customers stay informed. Excuse me. Robinhood wasn't exaggerating about the volatility of GameStop stock. Shares rose more than 1,800% during the month of January, and the price has fluctuated by hundreds of dollars per share in a single trading day. What makes this even more remarkable is that the company is a retailer that's largely considered outdated in the era of online sales, and prior to recent weeks, its share price was below $20. I wish I had a clue too. This is saying to me maybe I should learn how the stock market works. But who knows? You know, it'd be nice to have some money in stocks, in shares, in whatever it is, in crypto, I don't know, so that I can try to, you know, maybe save myself a little bit if I need it. But I know that's just not going to happen. I'm not in the position, and this is sort of cycling back around to what we were going to talk about today, which was the concept of debt, poverty, income inequality, and all these things. It's like, these are rich people complaining about the fact that they've got billions of dollars and they're losing billions of dollars on the stock market. It's like, you're still going to be financially fine. You're still wealthier than a vast majority of people. And you're complaining. You're complaining that the people decided, the people who have routinely been stepped on, have decided, we're going to turn around and we're going to fuck you a little bit. We're going to give you that fucking right back. And they have the audacity to shut down the trading of certain shares and try to cover their asses. Because of course they can. I get the suspicion this is going to lead to some legislation changes. A lot of people have been saying this may lead to some legislation changes. You don't even know how to make a good peanut butter jelly sandwich. You'll stay out of stocks. How hard could it be? Make a good peanut butter jelly sandwich. I've never actually made one. honestly, because what you call jelly with a peanut butter jelly sandwich is typically jam. Crumpets with Vegemite and honey, that's a good one. You know what I like? Scones with jam and cream. That's some good shit. Honestly, so far, what you've just been doing is making back what you lost a few months ago. Yeah, I don't think I have the patience to learn how to manipulate the stock market. Cereal's good. What kind of cereal do you guys like? What kind of cereal do you like? Crumpets with butter and cheese or Vegemite and cheese? I like crumpets with butter and Vegemite. You know what? I haven't had crumpets in a while. I might get some crumpets. It's a good idea. Lemonade scones. What are lemonade scones? All the Reddit kids big chilling on money right now. Send something to me, Reddit. I'm poor. Weet-Bix is good. Weet-Bix is very versatile. You can throw some honey on that bitch. You can throw some malt. You guys ever had malt extract? Malt extract is good shit. Got sort of a honey consistency, but it's malty. Lemonade cream flour, that's it. Interesting. I've never tried those. You'll have to make them for me. I'm hungry too. I had, regrettably, Jacinta's gonna hate me for this, but I had hot dogs with my kids for dinner. I couldn't find the vegan hot dogs. I looked, they weren't there. And even if I could, I know the vegan hot dog option is like $8 for a packet of 4 versus paying like $2.50 for a packet of 8. So I had that issue. And that's another thing actually. This could I keep saying things that'll bring us to the wealth inequality thing. And there's more to wealth inequality, to income inequality, to all of that than just poor people have less money. There are so many institutions around, I want to say poverty, but when I say poverty, you have a certain image in your head of starving children in Africa, you know? That's not really what I want to talk about, which is a problem, but I want to talk about wealth inequality and thus poverty or living just above the poverty line or living on the poverty line in Western countries. And that's a thing about veganism, is that I would really like to try it in depth. And I have tried, several vegan plant-based options and things like that, for the ethics of it. But the cost of switching to vegan options is prohibitive. Because of course it is. It always is. Anything that could potentially benefit people of lower income is typically priced out of their budget. And there was an interesting TikTok I watched the other day talking about environmental racism. Now I know what you're thinking the moment you hear the term environmental racism. What does that mean? And there's this black dude, and he specifically, the fact that he is black is important because he's in his car and he's driving. Well, he says, he's in his area. I think he's in his suburb area, his general space of living. The area he lives in, among other people like him, right? He starts driving and he's recording, and fast food restaurant, gas station, fast food restaurant. After 20 minutes of driving down the road, he gets to a grocery store, right? Then he goes to another suburb not far away. And after driving for less than a couple of minutes, grocery store, fast food restaurant, gas station, grocery store. Like, wealthier environments are typically built up. And this is a thing you'll notice if you are ever in the position where you need to buy a new house or rent a new house or whatever. One of the bigger selling points of the more expensive properties is 5-minute walk to the shops, the grocery store just down the road, versus you look at cheaper areas. They're not near anything. And there might be a McDonald's or, again, a gas station. People in lower income areas are not given the opportunity to go to a grocery store and eat healthier food. And if they do decide to go out of their way to do it, it's going to cost them more on fuel. So the poor people in general, people living in low income conditions, are forced to live in low-income conditions. Everything in the system is built against them being able to get out of their circumstances and into better living conditions, because they have to spend every single dollar they earn either driving further to get to a gas station. No, God, not a gas station. Well, probably driving further to get to a gas station to get to the grocery store or whatever. And this is explicitly by design. Lower income people are not there because they don't hustle hard enough. They're not there because they're buying too many avocado toasts and vanilla lattes. They are there because there's virtually no way up. Or on taxis? Do taxis cover low-income areas? And I think I'm in a reasonable... I think I'm in a low-ish income area. But here's the thing, right? The area I live in, the suburb I live in, looks like... I mean, you can tell just by looking at a place. You can tell by the roads. You can tell by the structure of the houses. You can tell by the people, honestly. I can tell by the fact that I drive up the main road of the... my road connects to the main road. And there's a house that's a couple of stories, right? But it's in debilitated condition. And there's just a pile of garbage out the front of it. And a lot of the houses around me, their lawns are not mown, generally speaking. They're pretty out-of-date houses. There's a lot of wear and tear on them. A lot of holes in the roads. But just across... you go up my main road and then you turn. And you go towards my mother's suburb. Literally the next suburb that connects. And all of the houses are really nice and pristine. The roads are nice. It's amazing how much of a disconnect there is. I live 3 minutes away from my mother, and this is the thing that irritates the hell out of me when I've been doing my delivery driving, is I will routinely go from the low-income area where the fast food restaurants are into high-income areas where, again, the roads are really nice, the houses are really nice, the cars are really nice, the people are dressed eloquently. Is this incredible disconnect. You do everything by bike, really. That'd be an ideal situation if I didn't have kids. If I did not have kids to worry about, I would toss the car immediately. Even though my dad gave it to me and it's a decent car, it is having some issues. But I need to get rid of the car. I would love to not have the need of a car. I'd love to bike to the gym, bike to the shops. It'd be so much easier. Save on fuel and all of that kind of thing. But again, that's another situation, right? Is if you try to buy a used bike, if you're a low-income earner, trying to buy a used bike is potentially a bad idea because they can break really easily. If you want to buy a new bike, you're up for hundreds, sometimes over $1,000 to buy a bike. Because you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to save some money here, not buy fuel, not pollute the environment and all of that sort of thing. But again, those are prohibitively expensive. What the hell? Hang on, what have I missed? You got followed between different routes. You can find it. Wait, what? Snooty, but you hate public transport. You find it overwhelming and complicated. Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. I loathe public transport. And yeah, Jacinta, you're right. Substitutes are unfortunately very expensive. Sorry, I do this thing. I want to stay on a topic while I've got it in my head. Then I ramble for a bit, and I don't check chat. I'm an awesome streamer. So interactive, so engaged. But yeah, if someone... So wait, what was the full story? Vixen? You got followed between different routes. Public transport equals panic, bad experiences. Got followed, can't ride a bike. Well, that's unfortunate. When you confide in someone, they said it's because you are timid. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that kind of person with your confidence anymore. That's very rude of them to say that. And I've had uncomfortable situations on public transport, of course. I think everyone has. But again, that's also the situation that they explicitly make. Hecklin, I'll say this right now. They said the public transport system, again, is another factor of controlling the poor. And they make it as complicated as they possibly can to make life difficult for people who use public transport regularly. Like, the amount of times when I was regularly using public transport, the amount of times that I would get on a bus, the same bus that would go the same route, and after a few months, the route would change. It would be the same number, but the route had completely changed. You'd end up in the same destination, but the route would completely change, and all of a sudden, you're going through suburbs you've never seen before, areas you've never seen before, and I'm just like, have I gotten on the right bus? And they do that to fuck with you, intentionally. They do that to institute panic and stress in you, so that you make questionable decisions. How much is fuel? It's about $1.30 a litre at the moment. There's only one experience that makes public transport kill you. Yeah, it's an absolute pain, and people have, unfortunately, like, there's a number of, let's just say, for example, morbid situation, but let's just say, for example, my grandfather died. He didn't, but let's just say he did. My grandmother can't drive. She relies on him to get around, and she can barely walk. Yeah, between 130 and 160 a litre. Yeah. Yeah, so she can barely walk. She can't drive herself around. And if he passed away, he's screwed. More than likely having to use public transport to get around. She relies on a walker to get places. More than likely, oh my god, I keep trying to go and get coffee and I don't have any. She'd be stuck in the situation of using public transport to get around. Or probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, relying on, I've seen elderly people at supermarkets who have an aid. I think they can get government coverage for an aid if they are that enfeebled that they can't get around and do their grocery shopping by themselves. So whatever the situation is there, I think I get the feeling a friend of mine does that kind of work with different types of people. Public transport is so unuser friendly, especially trains. Yeah, trains. Forget about catching buses if you need to get somewhere in a hurry. Absolutely. The current work environment we live in, you're expected to be somewhere on time. And let's just say, for example, you decide that the best course of action for you is to get a job where you need to be up at 4 a.m. and at work at 5 a.m. and you don't have a car. And you can't afford a car because you're not making enough money to cover a car loan. What are you supposed to do? If that's the only job available to you is to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's no buses or taxis at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, how are you supposed to get to that job? I mean, obviously you could walk, depending on how close it is. There's aged care help packages, but you can be waiting between 1 to 2 years to get it, which is ridiculous. Anyway, we'll come back to this, because it's a good topic. I'm going to take a quick break, 5 minutes. Take a leak and all that good stuff. So, don't go away or nothing. Alright? Just stay there. I will be back, I promise. I'm not going to leave you by yourselves for too long. We will come back. This is my Be Right Back scene. The bot is now going to try to sell you an ad. No, he's not. He's not, because I turned the ad function off for this. Because I kept accidentally bumping the thing. So we're not running an ad at the moment, I guess. Just chill out. Listen to the music and vibe and all that good stuff. I love your faces. What is up, you fine young dandies? What's happened? What is happened? What happened? Welcome back to me, because I'm the one who left. You've been here. I assume you didn't go anywhere.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the
We
Rogue
hope
Room.
you enjoy
Third
your
artifact.
stay.
I recognize that name. How you doing, lovely? What's going on? Welcome. Sit down. Well, I'll give you the traditional intro. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. How you going? What's happening? That entrance, you gotta have a dramatic entrance. Friends, you gotta put on the show. Good morning! What time is it where you are? It's about 10:43 p.m. where I'm at. Before the break, we were talking about debt, poverty, income inequality, and all that sort of stuff, and I'm keen to get back into that discussion. Thank you for the hydration, Fox. I am doing just lovely. Thank you very kindly for asking. There's something I'm looking at on Wikipedia, because like all good esteemed scholars of knowledge, I use Wikipedia as my sole source of information. Research. 6:44 a.m. Very nice, very nice. Up and early. What are your plans for the day? Yeah, I'm looking at the page for debt right now, and I mean, I know about debt. Believe me, I know about debt. And this is the thing that irritates me, is, you know, I am not in traditional... I'm not in traditional gainful employment at present. You know, I've mentioned my gig work before. I've mentioned, I operate based on, if there is work, I will get income from it, which is not stable by any stretch of the imagination. Effectively casual work. And I also have a loan that I've had for a few years. When did that start? God, I wish I knew. And honestly, here's a positive bit of news regarding that debt though. Is it's down to $6,500 right now. It was originally an $8,000 loan, I think it was. Or $7,500 loan. And I was a moron, and I bought a car for most of that money, which then broke down and required me to extend that loan to $11,000 to cover it. And I have been paying for the last, I think it was 3 years, 2 or 3 years, I think. I've been on this loan now to cover this car that I no longer have, by the way. Sold it for $200 after it completely fucked itself. And yeah, so I had originally, just about originally, an $11,000 loan to cover this car and its repairs. And that entire time I've been paying for loan protection insurance with my bank. And I went to them and I said to them, and this is the stupidest thing, I'm not in traditional employment anymore. I don't have the income I had when I took out the loan for a number of reasons. And they said to me, you can't use that insurance. Okay. So what am I paying for then? If I have to pay, $25 a month or something for this insurance that should cover the fact that I'm not in a job. Not in the job that I had when I originally took out the debt. That could, maybe cover the loan until I'm back in a position where I'm making enough income, right? What is that money going towards? What's the insurance that I'm paying going towards exactly? The question I would like to ask. And I get the distinct suspicion, on an economic level of course, that this is of course by design. Nothing that none of these systems are not... Where are my words tonight? Goodness gracious me. None of these systems that typically... I mean, yes, you can take out a big loan as a wealthy person. You can have a lot of money and take out a really big loan. A small loan of $1 million. But the loan system, I advocate this to a lot of people in my economic situation. Don't take loans out. And there are a lot of things that are not specifically loans that are tailored to... Well, they are loans. They are debts. There are a lot of these services I keep seeing around that are tailored specifically to low-income people. And there are systems like Afterpay, for example. And I am a victim of this bloody thing. I keep seeing cute thing that I want. I'm like, I'll buy that. on this Afterpay system. So, you know, technically speaking, I now have a debt of like, what, $100 or whatever to buy a dress or whatever the heck it is. Afterpay is deadly, yeah. It's deadly for low-income people like me. Low-income people like me who wasted money on these lights, which were actually only 15 bucks. Just light strip on my bed. It was 15 bucks. It's great. I love the way that looks. Can I just brag for a moment about how good that looks? It does look quite nice. I want more of those. But yeah, there are systems like Afterpay. There are systems like payday loans and pawn shops. Remember like all those reality TV porn shows? Porn stars, hardcore porn, all of those things. Those are always built in low-income areas. I mean, I think Porn Stars was built, is in Las Vegas in a rich area. But pawn shops are typically catered to people who are in a position where they don't have as much money as they need to cover their basic cost. Yeah, the porn thing, it's such a remarkably clever pun what they used like 7 different times. How many of these shows did they need to make, by the way? At least I'll give credit to Hardcore Porn as a show. It was about the drama, which was fucking great. But at the same time, I have to give credit where credit is due to the racism of that show. That show is very racist. Because yes, it is in Detroit. It's located in Detroit. And you could obviously tell it was a low-income area, yes. But at the time I was watching it, I will admit I found the drama of it amusing. But that is a thing. And that comes back around to the environmental racism thing. Pawn shops are typically built in low-income areas to specifically target people who don't have the money to, generally speaking, buy the things they want. It's not even necessarily covering their bills. A lot of the time it is. People will go and pawn their phone or their PlayStation or whatever it is they've got to be able to cover their bills and then try to maybe buy back what they pawned in the first place. Or just sell stuff, just outright sell stuff. To try to get a little bit of money to get by, to buy groceries, to buy fuel. And yeah, these places are set up specifically to target those poor people who... And I'm not saying anything new or original or unique here. It's not something that you've never heard of. But it does help to put it into perspective. It's like, I've only ever seen pawn shops. Legitimately, I've never seen a pawn shop in the nicer areas I've been to. In my travels around certain parts of Australia. I haven't been to many places in Australia. But the majority of the time when I see a pawn shop, it's a low-income area. And there are always these rundown joints. I've never seen a pawn shop in a nice suburban metropolitan area. I've never seen a single one of them. They're always, like, there's a pawn shop 10 minutes down the road from me. That place is a low-income area. Cash converters as well, yep. I've only, again, same thing, only seen them in low-income areas. And yeah, there's... you go, Radio Hecklin, have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here tonight. Been lovely having you. But yeah, cash converters is another one. And yeah, honestly, like the environmental racism thing that we talked about the fast food chains. I mean, you will still see fast food chains in higher income areas. The higher income areas I've been to, there are still fast food chains. But there are a lot more, not only grocery stores, but a lot more variety of grocery stores as well. The pleasure has been yours. Well, I'll give you that. You want to go to a cash converter so you have stuff to sell? Regrettably, I agree. I would love to get rid of some junk to have a bit of cash. A bit of extra cash. Have work tomorrow morning. They might head to bed, Fox Radio. Sounds good. Have a good one, dude. Now, of course, there's the situation where... I want to clarify what a payday loan is. I don't want to click on the picture. Payday advance, salary loan, payroll loan. This is something that I have, unfortunately... Well, this isn't the same thing, actually. This isn't the same thing. But you were in a dungeon. Did you grab a hammer off a guard and smash your chains and pick the lock and all that to get out? How did you go? But stuff like payday loans, for example, like so many of the... You don't think about this when you're younger, I don't think. Unless you are particularly one of those folks who gets... I don't know. I don't even know how you would... I feel like a lot of younger people don't think about this stuff unless... Especially if they're from a privileged perspective. A lot of people don't think about all of the... How much goes into money. There are people who just happen to have money, right? For a while there, for a long time there, I did have the distinct privilege of, and I will admit, I'm going to concede my privilege here as someone who has income from a disability support pension. It's not enough in my current living situation to cover everything, but I do have the distinct privilege of, while I was living at home, you know, when I say living at home, living at my mother's place, I didn't have any bills or expenses or cost of living, realistically. That was all virtually covered except for the fact that I would give my mother a bit of that income to cover the minor amount of, you know, electricity or food cost or fuel cost or any of that kind of stuff. It was nowhere near the amount of money I pay now on everything. Where was I going with this? Oh, but my general concept of money back then was I get money and I can put money aside and I can save and I can buy something. And that was how this happened. The vast majority of this was pre-orders, honestly. Don't pre-order shit. But like Sekiro, for example, is another thing. The Sekiro Collector's Box. That was the most recent big purchase I made back at the beginning of 2019 when I did still have a reasonable income from the job I was working. Which I then left at some point because they were abusive. And regrettably, they had a listing for a different store and I was strongly considering going for it, and I hate myself for that, but yeah, like before I moved out of home, before I had the forethought to actually consider that money is more than just having some numbers in your bank account. There is so much that goes into, like with the stocks thing, like with the discussion around the GameStop thing. You know, there's so much more to it. There's so much more depth to it, and a lot of people are not aware of just how much they're being taken advantage of by the systems of money, by the systems of income. They believe that the structure they live in is just the way it is. The only ways to get money are the ways that they are obviously exposed to. The only things they can spend the money on are the things they're exposed to. And certain things are kept hidden away from them. Shied away from them, only ever shown off in reality TV shows or YouTube videos or things like that. That was like coming back to the porn stars thing, coming back to that whole scene. That's a big thing that irritates the hell out of me, is those reality TV shows and I guess vloggers, wealthy vloggers who will show off the high life and all of that. And inevitably they're going to have at least some portion of an audience that will never see the kind of income, will never see the kind of high life they're being, having constantly shoved in their faces. And those people who are making that content as well, who are making that content by rich people for rich people, or by rich people for poor people, there's layers upon layers of different things that go into dealing with, you know, let's just say, who's a good example of somebody who would have a lot of money and just have people deal with it, basically. Like, you know, I've got millions of dollars in this and that, and I'll just, you know, pay someone else some of that millions of dollars to deal with my taxes, or to deal with my business interests, or whatever. Whereas, you know, you've got people who are in a lower income scenario, living in an environment that is specifically designed around taking every spare dollar they have off them and making them think this is the thing that got me recently. This is the thing that irritated me recently. Something my mother said, which, again, not a tremendously original thought. Like, you know, just getting a job is just a part of life. It's just a part of the system. Just getting that. You got to just live by the system. By the way, my cardigan. Can I take the cardigan off, or is that too lewd? Can I show shoulder? I might actually put this in the wash because I wore it out today and it was raining, so it's got saturated. I'm showing shoulder, guys. I'm sorry. I'm being lewd. Jail bonds. That's another good one. Thank you for that example. No shoulders on this Christian stream. Jail bonds are another good example. What are some other ones? What are some other good examples of institutional debt? And the thing about the environmental racism thing is, let's get this out of the way right now, is racism and classism go hand in hand. You know, just because somebody, like, you see people living in the projects in the low-income areas in America, and we come back to that hardcore porn show, you know, just because it was in that area of Detroit with a majority black population, which of course is racist by its very definition. But there are also people living in those areas who are white, or who are Asian, or who are, you know, other races living in those areas. Maybe they are the minority of the population in those areas. But those people, Rush is in after being at the cricket. Hey Kaz, how you doing? Welcome in. We're talking about wage inequality. And other such bullshit from the system. The cricket, mate. And I think in this regard, like classism, yeah, like I said, classism and racism virtually live side by side. There are people from different races who live in the same conditions that most people who suffer the consequences of racism, institutional racism, suffer from. So you can use those two almost synonymously in some examples. There are people who are distinctly in the same position of disprivilege, simply because of the conditions of their birth, generally speaking. It's beyond them. It's not their fault that they live in low-income areas. It's not their fault that they were raised in low-income areas. It's not their fault that they weren't given enough of an education. Like, there was was it Marjorie Taylor Greene? I want to say it was. Or another one of those right-wing pundits who was being excessively racist. Excuse me. Let me hydrate real quick. Oh, did I do that? I think I did do that hydrate. Fuck. Cunt. That didn't go down the right way. Anywho, where we were going with this. Don't die on water, I know. What a way to go. Yes, there is a factor of classism in just being born into, and I think I have had a rather privileged birth not birth. My birth wasn't privileged specifically, but I have to check my privilege here. It's like, you know, I have had a lot of opportunities, but there have also been a number of things that worked against me. Disability, namely. That's the major one. I don't think... and there are a lot of disabled people. As you were saying, what did I miss? Childcare, no maternity leave, charter schools, things like that. Yeah, like... people in low-income areas, like a lot of the privileges that wealthy people get. A lot of the privileges that wealthy people get, or people born into a good position in society, a lot of the things they get are things that would directly help low-income people in specific ways. The childcare thing is a good example. Like, for example, I had a thought of like, well, there's that thing that I've noticed in certain Asian shops. I don't see many around here, but there tends to be a kid Why is there always a kid? Well, they've got to take care of the child while they're working. Kid's got to study or whatever. They can't afford to leave them at home by themselves. Get ready. Okay. Hit me with some information. No one asked to be born. We were all forced to by the whim of our parents. Oh, that. Okay. That'll do. 2 of them. And 3. I'm not going to kiss it again. It's getting annoying. Really annoying thing is things like autism, etc. don't need to be a disability if we just make a few small modifications to the world. Stop running the world for one neurotype already. Put some fucking ramps in. Yes, agreed. That's another thing. Is, well, yeah, we were talking about how low-income areas don't, generally speaking, afford a lot of accessibility and a lot of the income. Like, there's no income in certain areas. The roads are shoddy. Routinely, there will be issues with, like, say, water or electricity or something like that. Especially in, like, severely low-income areas. You have guilt around your birth? Do tell why. What is the situation that causes you to have guilt around your birth? Autism, yeah, we do. Like, true, autism is a spectrum. Many people can't live independently. I get that. I mean, I say I am independent, but I do still feel like there are a lot of things I can't do myself. And that's what makes life, trying to find suitable work and things like that, makes things difficult in that regard. Excuse me. As much as I can sit here and yammer on for hours on end, talking about whatever comes to mind, I still struggle severely with socialization in a face-to-face setting, which makes finding any reasonable job, any reasonable standard of work very hard. Let me read this. Okay, let me ask you the question before anyone decides to ban you, so like, let me put a stopper in that before we get to it. What brings you to ask that question of a person, like myself? What is the thought process going through your mind that makes you think that's an acceptable thing to approach someone about? To infer that the minority, disenfranchised, and marginalized group that a person belongs to, what is it that causes you psychologically to approach that topic? I'm genuinely intrigued. What's running through your brain right now? What is the part of you that said that's an acceptable thing to ask someone? Just asking, why though? What is it that makes you just ask that question? What's a similar question you would ask of someone who is not trans? Genuinely speaking, what's a similar question you would ask a cisgender person? Give me an example here. I'm curious. I will agree with Get It Up. Suicide in trans people is because of the world around them, the people around them, the society they live in, the culture they live in, the lack of acceptance that drives people. And that's generally speaking a concept of suicide in general, even outside of being trans. Yeah, what is a question you would ask someone who is not trans? In that same vein, give me a question in that same vein you would ask of a cis person. Your mum was healthy until your birth, you know it's not your fault, but she's gone now and you have complicated feelings that now feed said guilt. Oh, I think I understand. Yeah. You're not independent either, thank fuck for your partner, but unfortunately because of the way disability support works, if someone is disabled, they run a risk of losing their support if they find someone to love/live with. I had that situation, well, for a bit, and I am back on full DSP now, which is good. Again, like I've said before, it's not exactly it's a livable income, but after doing budgets and things like that, I've begun to realize just how skint I need to make things in order to have every single thing paid for at a, like if I cover everything before groceries, for example, with my disability allowance, we'll call it, then what I've got left over after the fact, after covering all of the essentials, is the barest bare minimum. And this is unfortunately, again, another system that's by design, people who are living and dealing with a low-income circumstance. The amount of money they are making is often only just enough to cover those essentials, just if they are even getting to that point of being able to cover their bills and stuff like that. And as a result, you will find, especially in, particularly in places in America, in certain places in America, there are people who are working to the point of complete and total physical and mental exhaustion, working every waking hour they possibly can to make as much as they possibly can, and it's still not enough. And then there are people who will have the, like I bought, like I mentioned, that romper, or my lights. Buy myself little luxuries. The romper was $20, the lights were $15. And if I was to mention that to someone who makes more money, and if I were to, and you know, I talk about the lack of income and all of that stuff, I'm not going to shy away from it. Like some people, where was I going with this? Get your head together, Abigail. Jesus. You had a thought. Yeah, I will be open about the fact that I am not in the best earning situation. I'm not earning enough to cover everything. And if I do, occasionally, and I manage, somehow I manage to pull it together and make it through the end of every fortnight with my income. Somehow. People will make you feel guilty for buying yourself the tiniest treat. Again, $15, those lights. It's not huge. But then they will, pester you. Why do cis men kill themselves so much? Is it because they regret being cis and male? Because they struggle alone with a bit of money, but have someone to help with the struggling, but have no money, can't... Yeah, true. You sure you're okay with that dick just hanging there? Makes you more likely to commit Sudoku. What's up, folks? How's it going? What's my name? My name is Abby. How's it hanging? What's going on? Ooh woo. I do
Welcome
that
to the
occasionally.
Rogue Room. We
Love
hope
you.
you enjoy
Welcome to the
your
Rogue Room.
stay.
Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. I'm so cute. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so kindly. Yeah, my name's Abby, and we talk about stuff here. And I did have a cardigan on before, but it got too fucking hot. Jesus Christ. Time is it? It's 11:10 p.m. 10 past 11. And we've been talking about being broke. Yeah, we can leave the suicide jokes behind now, because it was originally to poke fun at this person who decided to bring up the suicide rates thing. Again, I do have to ask though. I won't bring up that thing anymore. But it's like, what question would you ask of someone who was cisgender and heterosexual and all of that sort of shit? What question would you ask of a person that is even vaguely similar to what that person just asked me? You know, why do they feel the distinct need to ask things like that? What's another? Well, it's particularly invasive. It's like, if you. Let me think for a moment. I want to make a really distinct, really standout example here, but I worry about like going too far with it. What if you were to approach just any old woman, any woman at all, and ask her why women go and have abortions? You know? Jacinta, thank you. I think there's another one you could hit as well if you feel like it. Your trans man called David. Well, hello, David. How you doing? What did you find in a Stephen King book about our favorite Joanne? What did you find, Kez? NR, what's that? We got a few. They always seem to come in. Well, they don't always come in droves. Usually they're alone, typically speaking, which is kind of disastrous. Let me just check something really quickly here, because I feel these are always throwaway accounts. Oh, okay, so you're one of those. We got another one. You're one of those people. You guys really like to try to circumvent the systems, don't you? It's not terribly clever. It's not like you're not... What are you doing? Circumvent. Can you guys at least subscribe? If you're gonna pull this shit. That was in the rules originally, but I took it out. But it is still an unwritten rule if you are going to come and troll my channel. You do... It is a requirement that you subscribe. It's a very reasonable sub goal of 75. We're already at 51. It's a very, very reasonable sub goal. You could contribute just $5 a month. It's just $5 US or $8.99 Australian dollars if you're in that market or wherever. 75 is a delicious number. Help me hit it. Help me smash that 75 goal, folks. If you're going to come in here and troll me, the very least you could do is support a struggling, trans, starving artist. Sweets. In Wolves of the Kala, when our heroes are fighting the bad guys, they use a weapon called Sneeches, and they're the Harry Potter model. Sneeches. I look so good and strong, thank you. I am very strong. Oh. Yeah. I do want to talk about fitness sometime soon. Should we do that tomorrow? Or we could do it now. I've thought about doing a full-on fitness stream. Not actually working out. I'm not going to do... Yeah, more dumb people came by. I'm going to do a fitness stream soon, I think. We were talking stonks, but we kind of went past it. We're kind of gone past it now. If we did... I don't think the conversation around the stonks was too fluid tonight. There was a discussion we had around romantic stuff, sexuality, and all of that. It's 4 AM, holy fucking shit. There was a discussion around sexuality that I might turn into a video. I've been trying to like take the try to take that particular part. That's what I've been doing generally with my videos lately. Is they've been a section of the stream. Let me check the progress of my last one. You gotta sleep. Yes, it's 4 AM. You do have to sleep. Why are you up at 4 AM? Unless you were getting up at 4 AM, that could be excusable. Which I used to do that. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? Don't ever do that to yourself. Right, folks? But what you can do is if you're feeling like it, I have a latest video. My latest YouTube video. If you feel like going over to my YouTube channel, which is the same name. Does empathy work on Nazis? I get the suspicion. Go watch that one. It's about 14 minutes of me talking about that very topic. My auntie doesn't seem to think so. She just says, no, only a bullet does. Why would you debate maths? It's just facts and logic. Here's the question. How often do you ask that of a person, TTV Rusty? Why is this not working at the moment? Hang on a sec. Give me just a moment. Do I already have this window open? No, I don't. Alright, give me a sec. Oh, you got him too quickly. You got him too quickly for me. I wasn't trying to ban him. Because I wanted to keep pestering them. Because I get the suspicion, right? Let's just like... Because they got TTV in their name, right? TTV Rusty 420. You've got a... What's your Twitch page like? Pretty barren. So you got TTV in your name.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
And
I hope you enjoy your stay.
Like, why have you got TTV in your name, friendo? McPanties, you got banned. Why did you... Anyway. Why would you go out of your way, put TTV in your name, and act like you're a streamer? And not actually stream anything. Hasn't streamed recently. No videos. Like, seems kind of fruitless to do that thing that streamers typically in like online games do, so that other people will go and watch their streams. But we know nobody would want to watch you anyway. So, anywho, we're on a combo. We're going with a tag team tonight. You guys are going in heavy. I get the suspicion these people are all coming from the same place. Does anyone else have that speculation? That they're all coming from the same place? All the same group of dickheads, more than likely. They've probably got a Discord server or something like that they hang out in because they're miserable little losers. can't handle 3 things on Twitch. They can't handle a woman having a successful Twitch channel. They can't handle a lesbian having a successful Twitch channel. And they can't handle a trans person, a transgender woman having a successful Twitch channel. They can't handle any of that shit. Made you want to change? Well, I was always like this, realistically speaking. Something like morons who ask LGBTQIA plus people dumb questions. There's a lot of those. They also can't handle the truth.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Mrs. Karen's Bikini Bod. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Thank you so much for making today so much better. Thank you for making today so much better. You're welcome, Turquoise. I'm glad I could help. We're probably going to call it soon. Call it shortly. It's like, I've been streaming for a few hours. I'm sort of like, what do we switch to, topically? We always tend to come back around to transphobia. Could use a nice cool drink, so could I. I'm out of wine. I got no wine left. I got water, but that's not terribly exciting, you know. I want something nice and chill out drink kind of thing. I have, like, we can talk about the idea of these raiding Discord servers or whatever. Came out to your friends today, Pog. That is pretty Pog. That is pretty Pog. Congratulations. What video games am I enjoying recently? None of them. I haven't been gaming. I've got Ghost of Tsushima sitting there at the top of my PS4 games under my Switch games. And that's the only game I've really been dedicatedly, well, enjoying the most, I would say. What does POG mean? Good question. I don't know. It's supposed to be a good game.
Another round.
Hey, 10 bits. Thank you so kindly, Miss Karen's Bikini Bod. You are too kind. It's supposed to be like a symbol of excitement, I think. It's like, you know, congrats or yay or whatever. What does POG mean? Or play of the game. There is that. So I guess in that stance, it previously was specifically a gaming terminology. A word used to indicate excitement or an epic moment comes from PogChamp. Wow, that play was awesome. POG. And I think, yeah, the original terminology would have been play of the game, as it says here. And then over time, it has been adopted into specifically Twitch nomenclature, but also I think certain, I think it's just generally become, you know, gamer slang. But, you know. Oh, hang on, I just realized something. I haven't had stream labels open this entire time, and I just checked my subs. It's actually gone down by 1, so someone's sub has ran out and they haven't renewed it. Bastards. How dare they? Somebody else should sub to cover for that loser who didn't resub. Fucking loser. Dare they? How am I supposed to cover the lights that are gonna go on my shelving and light up all of my collection if you guys aren't getting me my reasonable sub goal of 75? I have to ask you something. Here's a question. For those of you who watch other streamers, what do they do that actually works, that incentivizes subscribers? There's a question for you. Because obviously I can get subs. There is obviously a market for me. I just don't know how to capitalize. And yeah, we got the pronouns extension, which is awesome. I highly recommend the pronouns extension. If you're using Chrome, grab that shit. And you can show your pronouns to anyone else who has the extension. They can see them all over Twitch. It's a great little quality of life thing. I've got it installed. So I can go like this. And you can see next to my name. No, you can't. It doesn't show up on this particular instance. Great. Awesome. Cool. Cool, fantastic. It doesn't fucking work in the pop-out chat window for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Hello, Chesser, I remember you. Started going to other types of content, e.g. chess, that would make sense. Last week he came downstairs after online class and saw your mum watching one of my VODs. Wanted to say keep up the great work. Why, thank you. I think I do remember you talking about your mother watching my streams and videos. Things have changed a bit since about a year ago. There's a bit of a change. Posted your wedding dress in the lounge. Oh yes, let's have a look. Let me bring it over here. Oh, very, very pretty. Oh, maybe it was somebody else. Somebody used to tell me routinely that their mother watched me. Maybe it was someone else then. But that's kind of crazy that your mother is watching me. There you go. Gonna go back to homework now. Well, best of luck with your homework. Kez, this is stunning. I want to wear this just as a daily thing. Can I show this? Light in the box wants to show you notifications. No, thank you. Can I? Yeah, look at this fucking thing right here. My goodness. I just wear that out. I just go out in public wearing that. Holy heck. I want it. I don't have $279.06 in Australia now. Can I see a preview in the other colors? No? Okay. Gorgeous. God damn. You'd wear it out too? Nice. I haven't really worn... I mean, I'm wearing tights and shorts now, but... I've generally been on a bit of a dress kick lately. I've been mostly wearing dresses, which has been really nice. And... we talked about passing culture and... I think it's a jumpsuit dress. Yeah, I think it's a jumpsuit dress. Two-piece jumpsuit... Let me have a look. Two-piece jumpsuits, A-line wedding dresses, dual neck, court trim, blah, 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 blah. Excuse me. Live in sweatpants. I mean, sweatpants are pretty good. And it's so close to what you've dreamed of wearing to your wedding, and damn it, you will once you order it and dad pays for it. Toilet difficulties. I get the suspicion that's just wedding dresses in general. You know, go before the ceremony. Don't expect to have an easy time of it after the fact. And I had that experience with the jumpsuit, which is now sitting in my washing basket. Fucking, I'm gonna go to the toilet and take this entire thing all the way off. And like Jacinta said to me, make the bathroom situation even more awkward. But that's a thing that I wanted to mention briefly. Like, we come back to the trans thing for a sec. I've been wearing dresses a lot lately, and I've been wondering, considering that I'm wearing a mask when I go out in public 90% of the time. I do find myself wondering if people can still clock me when I'm getting around in, you know, generally, like, I've been, aside from the gym, which even then, there's still a bit of femme mode there. I've been 99% of the time in girl mode, so to speak, if that makes sense. Like, I've been presenting as feminine as I possibly can all of the time. And I have this constant fear in the back of my head that people are clocking me from miles away. I get I've noticed a lot more people looking at me. Not with any malcontent or anything, but I've definitely sort of locked eyes with a few people a few times. And I'm like, oh, you are looking at me. Why are you looking at me? You got a cute romper thing a friend got for you, but you're scared to wear it because of toilets, yeah. Still haven't done the public restroom thing solo yet. There's always been someone with me as a accompaniment. Because, I mean, if I have to go to public restrooms, generally speaking, I'll go to the disabled toilets now. I won't go in the men's restroom at all. Simply refuse. It's so weird that that's a cultural norm. It's so strange to me that where you go to take a piss has social etiquette and gender roles assigned to it. We really should do away with that whole concept and institute individual bathroom stalls. I'm going to continue advocating for this, and of course the trans tag on Twitch, that'd be nice. Started looking at people's eyes a lot more. I mean, when everyone's wearing a mask, it tends to become the place your attention is drawn the most to. I know as an autistic person, I have had a habit of either A, not looking at people's eyes when talking to them, or B, looking at their mouths or their noses or something that's in their facial area. But it's like I can't, most of the time, cannot. I mean, you can tell just with the camera alone. I don't look at the camera a lot. But at the same time, you know, it's a piece of technology. I sometimes think about how strange it is that with all the anxiety I do face around other people, and believe me, there's a lot, being out at supermarkets and wherever else you're allowed to go these days in a lockdown. We still have some public spaces that are open, so it's not really locked down anymore. We're in a pandemic, but I mean, I was out today briefly, and there were a number of people wandering around the shops without masks on, so it mustn't be taken that seriously. But here I am doing this thing to anyone who will watch. Anyone is welcome to be here. This is an inclusive zone, and I want anyone and everyone to give me their attention when I'm the focus. You know, when I'm like talking at you. But you put me in a big room with a lot of people in a social setting, and I will freak out and probably hide in the corner with my tail between my legs. I'm terrible at socialization. It's a very specifically perplexing and demoralizing thing. I had a thing tonight because at the Gabbage tonight, the ladies' toilets had a fucking line to cans, and you were so tempted to use the men's. NBC should be able to use either. Had your they them badge on. You were worried about people asking you about your genitals. Yeah. Why do people ask about the genitals? I've never once in my life had concern, I don't think, for what's in another person's pants. You know, it's like, why would people go so far out of their way to concern themselves with what is in another person's pants? Like, we're wearing pants or skirts or whatever it is we're wearing. We're covering that area for a reason. So why do you so desperately want to know what we're hiding down there? That area is specifically for the restroom and for private time with the private people who are allowed to have that information. Yeah, the only time you give a damn what's in someone's pants is if you wanna fucking smash! Wanna smash, bro? I haven't got it. I haven't got Smash Bros. I've got Super Mario Odyssey. We can play that if you like. Or Minecraft. I got Minecraft on so many different systems. I have it on my Switch. I got Stardew Valley on my Switch. But unfortunately, we cannot smash! I'm a dainty little petite flower. Ooh woo. You don't have genitals, you pee from your belly button. Even then you're bi, you like both setups. Perfect! Easy mode. And it's like, even then, you know, I'm not bisexual, but I'd totally smash a trans girl. You know, I was going to say a phrase that I know is particularly transphobic just then. Pre-op. I didn't think about that. I did think about it. But that has become, as far as I'm aware, a pretty insensitive term to refer to somebody. But you know, if her configuration down there is like mine, I'm still down. But the thing is, I'm not at all into dudes, into men. I have no interest in that. Not really got to do with the trans stuff, but you remember going to school camp and the boys' restrooms were so fucking disgusting, so you always went to the girls' restrooms. That is fair. Here's the thing about the women's restrooms thing, though. About the... What's a more PC term? It's hard to say. Generally speaking, don't refer to it. Don't refer to if someone has had the surgery. Unless they specifically want to talk to you about it, don't refer to them as pre this or that. Don't give that subject any attention, because there's no need to. They literally wipe their shit on. Yeah, God. I know they're kind of disgusting. Like, I used to clean. Yes, thank you, Bartwick. Trans Pride Worldwide. I have been, unfortunately, in a situation where I was cleaning the restrooms, men's and women's, of the store I worked at. And regrettably, I saw some things on the walls of the stalls that I'm like, these are the people I work with. Yeah, they're not pre, they're not post, they're simply themselves, exactly. And if they want to talk to you about their surgery and the system, like everything that goes into it, then you can have that discussion with them. But if you are talking about them, this is another bit of chagrin I wish to bring up as well. Generally speaking, unless, and I am, don't get me wrong, I'm an out and proud trans person, but if I'm not in the room and you're talking about me, don't tell people that I haven't told that I'm trans. Here's another thing. You know, this is something that I think a lot of people overlook. And I'll forgive my friend Beck for doing this. We were streaming and it was kind of relevant to the whole thing. But she did several times during our live stream together refer to the fact that I'm trans, and it was a bit awkward to think about. So that's a thing. Like, unless we go out of our way to make it known, it's not really the authority of anyone else. Like, I get the suspicion, because this is a thing that irks me about how my mother has treated me my whole life. She does have a tendency to, I'm not in the room, she'll refer to me as her child with autism. She'll talk about the fact that I'm a mother of an autistic child. I don't see it as her necessarily trying to be bigoted, because she's a special needs teacher after all. She teaches kids with autism and other such situations. But it does feel a little bit insensitive to take that agency away from me and other similar people. Like, if I don't want people knowing I'm autistic. And again, I'm open about virtually everything here on stream. I am an open book. But the authority of revealing certain information about myself, or other people revealing information about themselves, when you take away that agency from them, it's deeply insensitive. And yet surprisingly common. People will say, oh, I've got a gay friend. It's like, well, what if that person you just talked to about your gay friend? Hang on. Well, yeah, let's continue on that thought. What if the person you just told about your gay friend isn't particularly fond of gay people? Now you have revealed something about your gay friend, the fact that they are gay, to someone who is potentially a bigot, who might potentially torment them about it. There was actually a situation. Curious about autism and wanting to look into it yourself. We can talk about autism if you want. There's a lot there. A lot of allies feel entitled. Yeah, this is another issue, is, you want to be understanding of the fact they're allies. It's like, yeah, they're doing their best, but there are some who definitely get the suspicion that they can say whatever they want because they do consider themselves allies. Privacy is a privilege for people who aren't seen as interesting talking points. That is a marvelous way to phrase it, Self-Care Squad. Oh my god. Perfect. Well done, honestly. That's amazing. So much better way of putting it into words than I ever could. Now, you refer to the fact that you have gay and trans friends, but you'll never identify them specifically as such. Yeah, that's fine. But if you were to say, I have a trans friend named Jacob. My friend Jacob? Yeah, he's a transgender man. If you were to say that to someone who was not familiar with Jacob, or who had only met Jacob once, or had met them a few times, and you just reveal that about that person, especially if they're, for example, generally stealth, which means they want to present as cis as possible, just blend in. They want to just pass as much as possible and not raise any eyebrows. Then, yeah, you've betrayed that trust that person had with you. Getting a diagnosis yourself for something around the autism spectrum, hopefully in a few months. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that, Chesso. That sounds good. It's good to know, I think. It's good to have that knowledge of if there is something there. Had some fun conversation with women in restrooms at tech conferences because we're usually in the minority and there are no queues for the loos for a change. But the one time there was a queue, and it was a good thing because it meant there were a lot more of us than usual. Well, that's good. That's good. But yeah, about the autism thing, as someone who has known they've been on the spectrum since, again, I speculate about 11. Autism has affected my life in different ways than it has affected other people's lives, for example. So, I've met a number of autistic people who have, and this is an issue with the idea of cringe. We as autistic people will see behaviors that make us uncomfortable in other autistic people. And the reason it makes us uncomfortable is because we believe we are exactly like them and we have those same behaviors. Turquoise, thank you so kindly for keeping me hydrated. But the reality of autism, of course, is that it is a spectrum. It's not just one specific set of symptoms. There are many, many symptoms, and not every autistic person has the same ones. You've seen examples of extremely autistic people, I'm sure, depicted in film or depicted in news or whatever else. in that god-awful movie that Sia made is absolutely ableist as all fuck. I want to watch it for the sake of... I should watch this movie to see how badly she's represented autistic people, but at the same time, no. Yeah. But there are autistic people who throw fits, who have seizures as a result of their autism. Some who hit... Oh, why did I say that? I'm a level with you motherfuckers for a second. This is heavy. Prepare yourselves. Content warning, self-harm. Okay, I'm going to put this out there now. Content warning, self-harm. I've mentioned in the past that I have never had the compulsion to commit suicide, and I haven't. Well, like I've mentioned in the past, when I was a teenager, I think there were a few momentary lapses with my depression where I was like, oh yeah, thought about it, never committed. Never attempted. Just really deep pits of depression. But that's not the point I'm making here. This has nothing to do with depression. There have been instances over the years. An autistic thing of mine, a very severe one, is hitting myself. Hello from Australia too, Silenzio. How you doing? You're over the spectrum and you're just one person. You can have your really bad days when you're non-verbal and lash out and have harmed yourself before trying to get the adrenaline bugs out though. Then you have your super awesome days. Well, that's good. Yeah, like, there is a lot. And I think I've had some pretty stressful days. I did it today. Very tricky to say this. I slapped myself on the thigh several times as hard as I possibly could. And then later on the head. And that's because I was just stressed and I couldn't figure out a way to deal with it in a normal manner. Couldn't figure out a way to vent the frustration I was experiencing. So I hit myself. And that is something that I don't often talk about. I don't often touch on it. I bruised my leg. I have a headache. But in the moment, it's just like you can't logically, rationally reason with yourself to a point where you're just like, there's a better way to deal with this. And honestly, like, I've had people tell me to go to therapy over this kind of thing. I've been to therapy. It's not easy to talk about it indeed. Oh yeah, don't call me bro. That's what that timeout is about. Don't call me bro. That's a distinctly masculine term for a feminine lady person.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Astro.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
That actually reminds me of the term 18. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. It's not easy to talk about a lot, and I want to be completely open and aware and accepting, and I want people to feel like they can share. Yeah. Of course, the issue arises. I don't want this place to become one dominated by talk of self-harm or anything of the sort. Because that will, of course, upset other people. But I do want people to feel like they are in a welcoming space and a comfortable space where we have vulnerabilities and we can share them. Good luck on the transition. Do I need luck? Is that a thing that I need? I mean, good luck in not getting killed for transitioning. That's one of the worries. Appreciate it though, Astro. What's up, Oasis? How's it going? Luck can definitely help out a bit at least. I could always use more luck. What I want is the luck to make me rich on the stock market with the GameStop stock. Oh god. I so wish. I'm actually legitimately gonna buy Dogecoin as a meme. I'm gonna buy some Dogecoin as a meme. You never know. Invest in memes, folks. They're so fucking stonks. They're so dumb. I can't even... I know the gist of the situation, but I'm like, I can't fathom it. Dogecoin is already dumped. I'm gonna just buy low, sell high, right? I don't expect it to go anywhere, but I was thinking of putting $10 in Dogecoin. As soon as Coinbase verifies me. Coinbase seems to be the go-to a lot of people recommended. Has anything cropped up yet? We'll see how that goes. No, hasn't come through yet. By the way, I opened my email just now. Didn't do a damn thing. and I middle click to close the tab, and it's like, any changes you have not saved will be lost or whatever. Some things are still happening. It's like, I didn't do anything. I didn't click on anything. Recently came out as non-binary. Congratulations, Astro. Cute pic sent. Where to? You sent a cute pic. Hey, Sienna, how's it hanging? How's it going? That's just reminded me of like back when I was working in the supermarket. Here's an unfortunate bloody thing. Multiple cameras and zooms and shit like that. I still don't like the lighting. How the lighting is too bright on this one. But here's a funny thing. A co-worker I used to be good friends with when I worked at the supermarket has not kept in touch in any way, shape, or form. And I'm one of those people who's like, if you stop communicating with me, I'm not gonna reach out. Like, I notice when people distinctly decide to just leave me behind, that I'm just gonna leave them behind as well. The feeling's mutual, you know? Messenger. Oh, okay. As I was saying, yeah, this was just an amusing greeting. There's no actual real story here, but I had this friend every time. That is a cute photo. There's a dog. Can I show this one? Oh, your name's not anywhere on the screen. Can I show this? Can I show this off? I'll wait for your consent. Because this is adorable. This is adorable. Look at the dog. Look at the baby. And that's the baby. What was it? Oh yeah, the friend. Very baby. The friend, whenever I would say, what's hanging? Oh no, he goes, I'd say, how's it hanging? And he'd go, long, loose, and full of juice. Like, for fuck's sake. It's the dumbest shit. Why do people hate cis white men? Well, I mean, generally people don't. I'll answer that question. Generally, people do not hate cis white men. They get it, given their position in society. I would argue they don't. But if your perception is that mostly queer people hate cis white men, and there are valid reasons to criticize cis white men, or as a concept, the concept called the patriarchy, for example, is not specifically just the existence of cisgendered straight white men. For example, the concept of the patriarchy is that society is built around certain masculine identities, certain people who control the way of things. The patriarchy is much more an institution than an actual person or persons. But generally speaking, the majority of the systems in virtually every society that we live in are driven towards giving the majority of the power and the privilege to white, or we'll say white, but even in cultures that are not white, but heterosexual men. Specifically heterosexual men, because there's also the domination of women in there as well. You might better not be watching this VOD in case you say some weird shit. It's even better because you're on the screen as well. Say some weird shit. If you are, Mum, leave all you can. By the way, if you guys are not... If you want to catch up on VODs, not !Y, YT. If for some reason I do stream 3 hours a day and the goal is to make it a daily thing, I legitimately want to go as far with the daily thing as I can, because I'm loving it, honestly. Like, streaming every day so far, it's only been like 7 days in a row at this point. But the goal is to push for this to be a regular thing, like every single day I'll be streaming. And yeah, if you go to Rogue Offline, my offline channel, you'll be able to find all my VODs there, because they won't stay on Twitch forever. Like, they're on there for... Oh my god, guys! My latest VOD from yesterday is currently ranked number 1 of 10 of my latest uploads, with 1 view. I don't actually care about the growth of that channel, and I really need... Oh no, I broke my YouTube studio. Okay. Oops. Anyway. Don't think we should put cis white men down. The difference is, okay, here's a concept of latest VOD must have been the one your mum watched then, probably. Patriarchy isn't that great for anyone except the rich white cis men. Yes, the ones who benefit the most are the ones at the very top. Like with anything, the ones who benefit the most
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope
I am
you enjoy
Scarlet
your
MX.
stay.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. How are you doing? Yeah, the patriarchy itself, the concept of the patriarchy, is the majority of the men that are benefiting from it are the rich, wealthy ones. But the dominant people in society are still vastly cis, straight, white men. In our society, in the society I live in, generally speaking, in the society you live in. So the concept of the patriarchy does stretch to people who are not wealthy billionaires, and they are still, of course, affected by the negative aspects of patriarchal systems. There's a lot in there, like, God, I'd have to jog my memory. It's been so long since I'd studied the patriarchy subject, because I did actually study this, and fingers crossed I'll be going back to uni to do full-time study of it, and do the whole shebang, sociological thing. My goal is to be able to come out of 2024 with a sociology degree. Fingers crossed. If we're still around in 2024. You're a cis white male and getting to wake up every morning isn't really a privilege. But like even the non-white rich men, yeah. We say white because we live in a Western sense. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily, like you said, don't think we should put. You don't think we shouldn't put cis white men down. No. Like, we shouldn't put someone down because of the circumstances of their birth. But I think, generally speaking, it also stems from the cultural awareness of what people have been exposed to, by and large. I want to say this is informed by trauma. I, personally, the worst I've had to deal with from cis white men, from what I would call the status quo man, right? That's a nicer way to put it. The status quo man. The worst I've had is just the discomfort of being around them my whole life, and feeling the desire to emulate them before I transitioned, because I wanted so desperately to be as accepted as I possibly could and not have to deal with the reality of myself. That's the unfortunate thing, is having to deal with the reality of myself, the reality that I desperately hid from for 31 years. Well, I mean, we'll call it 16 years. I had my gender identity crisis at 15-ish, and then pushed that down and did everything in my power. Sweet Agony, how are you doing, lovely? How's it going? That's a cute little emote. One didn't know boundaries and did a thing they shouldn't have. What? Or do you mean in reference to the men thing? Kinda sucks as a white cis male to automatically have this. You achieved what you have because of white privilege. This sucks. Grew up on welfare. You grew up on welfare with a single mother. Struggled through uni, but no one cares because you're white and cis. That's understandable. My mother, like, I've probably fucked myself over in terms of privilege, honestly. Transitioning, being a trans lesbian, has probably fucked over a good portion of the privilege I had. But I do know the same situation. My mother worked a full-time job and studied full-time to try, as a single mother, to try to give me and my daughter the best life she possibly could. She's done very well. But there is definitely still an element of white privilege that we often overlook. But hang on, let me just go back a second. You saw a video about how differences are just accepted between famous people and not between common people walking on our same street. Quite true. Wow, you're so brave is not something someone should say about someone who is just trying to be himself. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, I don't feel like I am particularly brave or strong or whatever. I'm strong. Your bitch can lift, but I'll take any opportunity to flex my biceps. Anyway, but yeah, it's a bit weird when people are like, you're so brave about your identity. And I do wish we would do away with the concept of what do you identify as? I hate that terminology. Put that in the bin and never get it out again. You know, recycle that into better phrasing. But I do think, as much as we want to admit it, or as much as we don't want to admit it, like, yeah, there are a lot of white men who have had a struggle, impoverished upbringing, and they are just as much a victim of the patriarchy as anyone else is. You're welcome. You're just as much a victim of the patriarchal systems that keep everyone outside of the elite oppressed. But people do, of course, assume, based on what you... people do assume based on factors they can see at a glance. See, I have been told... Do I ever listen to the Change Your Mind? Do you mean Steven Crowder? The meme guy? DP? I think when they say you are brave, it's just to show support, because even in this day and age, a lot of haters and people... Well, yes, true. That is true. Being an out and proud trans person. I mean, this is probably about as out as I get. I wear my ring out sometimes, and I doubt anyone notices it. But I mean, you see me, all 178 centimeters of me with my muscles and shit, wearing a dress getting around. Generally speaking, I think a few people clock me at the very least. And that there is some bravery, I suppose. But at the same time, I'm just like, this is just who I am. This is just what I like, how I like dressing. This is how I like being. I'm finally being myself for the first time in like 30-something years. Hello, Calgar. How was the men's touching each other? Jumping on each other like trampolines. Yeah, do you mean Steven Crowder, DP? He's the guy that was like, such and such. Changed my mind. Was that him? I've watched a few of his videos, I think. I wouldn't mind reacting to one at some point. Because he seems like a particularly toxic individual. And that's always, you know, fun. You always struggle with rainbow categories because you never gave a name to everything you ever felt, you just felt it. Yeah. Trampolines. I think the fact that celebrities coming out and more supported is a bit weird, but also good. Kind of blocks out the haters and can change a few people's minds. Yes. There are... What was I going to say? When, like, Elliot Page came out, gave a ton of awareness to transgender people, especially transgender men, because I noticed that trans women are the primary focus of trans discourse. And trans men are often left by the wayside. And even in the Ben Shapiro video we reacted to a little while back, Ben Shapiro skewed towards the trans women thing at the end of his video on Elliot Page. He made a video about Elliot Page and somehow circled it back around to the trans women in bathrooms thing. So there is definitely an issue of, like, trans men should be more talked about and should be more known as an entity. We should be made aware that they exist. We've kind of gone completely off the rails here. Fuck Ben, he's an asshole, yeah. He knows what he's doing. I think haters will always accept them more than a neighbor or son. Except haters will always accept... Wait, which? Guess who woke up and wanted pets? The doggo? I bet it's the doggo. How is the doggo? You fucking hammered. Good. Oh, I need to get... I'm gonna do, like, something for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna do something for Valentine's Day, I promise you that. Ah, stop punching the microphone, Abby. Sorry. I'll try to stop going off of my microphone. New NJPW thing was a regular weekly. Showed your friend one of the bigger turning points from 2 weeks back. Pick proving pet so you don't get got by the pet police. Let's have a look. More pet pics. More animal photographs. Oh god, why did I open this in the mess? I don't know what they did to the Messenger website version, but they absolutely fucked it. It's an absolute fucking mess right now. I can't show you because all these people's personal details, but I can show you. I could show you the dog. Show you the dog. What do you call a cow with a twitch? A beef jerky! I still need... Yes. Well, I need to go to your house, don't I? Oh, so you want to come to my place and make cocktails here with Jeff? That's a good idea. That's a good idea for a stream, yeah. Do you enjoy listening to other people's views on these topics? Should have a podcast. What I need to do. This is the equivalent of a podcast at this point for me. And maybe I should start branding Rogue Offline as such. Maybe I should start treating Rogue Offline like a podcast. Like that's my alternate YouTube channel. Has donated $100. No, you haven't. I'm not a dipshit. I have been streaming for 3 years. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll get back on your podcast. I've got Ren's podcast coming up that I've got to do again. And originally I wanted to do Mask Off as a weekly podcast kind of deal, which was Mondays. And the idea was to have a variety of different creators on, but doing this whole thing entirely solo is very difficult, aside from moderators in chat and such. And that made it hard for me to find guests because I had everything else going on through the week and trying to schedule someone on and figure out topics. I still would like to do it, but I'm putting it on hold until I can figure out exactly where I want to go with it. The goal of Mask Off, which would be on Mondays at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Didn't read your chat. Oh, hang on. I'll come back to that in just a second, Zoasis. Sorry, I started reading it and then everything else happened. I'll come back to it in just a moment. The thing with doing the podcast thing is I want to get people on, particularly content creators, who are knowledgeable about this topic or that topic or that topic. I want people who come on with a variety of different ideas. I don't just want to have some new political commentator every week or something. I would like to have a variety of different people on who have experience in different fields of work or lifestyle or anything. And levels of education on a thing. That'd be awesome to do as a learning experience, and just prod them with questions. You think the silent majority don't care about what people do with their lives if it doesn't affect others negatively? You think the media system is just built on a profit model? Absolutely, yes. So they'll target issues and blow things out of proportion in the sense that most people don't give a shit. If you're a nice person and cool to hang with, then that's it. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's fair. Don't care what people do with their lives if it doesn't affect others negatively. Generally speaking, I would say so. But there does tend to be a... Oh, Jacinta said cocktail party. Jacinta, you can join in too. Absolutely. We can manage to pull it off and try inviting Dr. K. Yeah. I wouldn't mind talking with him. I think that'd be a fun discussion to have. I'm sure he's done it already, but I'd like to have a discussion with him about autism. We could discuss the autism spectrum thing. Maybe I should do a whole stream on autism. Maybe I should jig my memory on I know a fair bit about it, given that my mother teaches kids with autism and she knows a ton about it, so I've learned a ton about myself from my mother. You'll make cocktails for whomever wants them. There's only so far the wallet stretches. It's true. So there you go. That's my thoughts on that. You helped run a podcast. It was part of your job, so you're happy to lend some advice. That'd be good. But yeah, we can talk more about autism. We can do it tomorrow if you want. We can do an autism chat. Morning, Noobnat. How's it going? We could, of course, try adding Dr. K on Twitter. If you want, go ahead. Let's make a moment. Here's the thing, okay? Not Dr. Carl. Hang on. Let me see here. Healthy Gamer. That's it. Healthy Gamer.
Hey guys, I'm Dr.
Shut up. He's got 453,000 subscribers on YouTube. Oh, that's not right. Okay, hang on. No, that's not it. Is he on Twitch? Oh, okay. His channel is healthygamer_GG on Twitch, and he's got 444,000 followers. So, given that his latest VOD has 93,000 views, I'm a bit out. Like, that'd be punching up quite a bit. not punching up. That'd be like what's the what's that thing when like you've got a a very attractive person, very physically attractive person, punching above your weight. That's the phrase. You've got like two people dating, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're punching above your weight there," to indicate, you know, one of the parties in the relationship is more attractive than the other. Yeah, it's a like they're out of your league kind of thing. That's what it feels like with Dr. K. It's like way out of my league. Goals. I'd also like to chat with Anxiety. I don't like MXIETY. What were we saying? Yeah. Here's the thing. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a tweet. I am going to make a tweet. Chat wants me to talk to Healthy Gamer GG. Bit of Galcan Dream. We need to get Abby and ContraPoints together. Yes. I'd lose my shit, dude. By the way, I just realized, you know, I follow certain people on Twitter. You're punching up by wanting to talk to me. What do you think of Joe Biden and all he's done for the LGBT community? I mean, it's what I've seen so far is good. I do, you know, of course, an extreme viewpoint, an unrealistic viewpoint is like he shouldn't have unbanned trans people from the military. He should have just banned cis people from the military as well. But the yeah, what has he done? He's repealed the shit that Trump did right at the very end, I think, of his administration. Repealed all the issues that Trump put into place for LGBTQ plus people. Yeah, punching up by literally talking to any human at this point. How are you conscious? You have developed a dependency on alcohol. Retweeted it, why not? Let's see what happens. Let's just see. You guys want to go to my Twitter and retweet my latest tweet. Let's see if we can get Dr. K to talk to me. I don't know what would happen. Let me have a look. Let me have a quick glance. Let me refresh my memory. What has Biden done for LGBTQ plus people? Biden talked a big game on LGBTQ plus rights. Okay, so day one, everything Biden has done for LGBTQ plus rights. He's done more since this. This was on the 21st, so just over a week ago. Saying it was the policy of his administration from his first day in office to prevent and combat discrimination on the basis of gender identity and sexual orientation, Joe Biden has signed a sweeping executive order that ensures protections against discrimination for LGBTQ plus people in government and elsewhere. The signature came just hours after Biden was inaugurated at an event featuring a musical performance by Lady Gaga, because that's totally relevant, and was one in a number of moves that affirm the administration's commitment to the community. So he's done that. He's repealed what was effectively Trump put in specifically measures that repealed the rights of queer people, and Biden has repealed those, repealed whatever you would call them. He's given those people their rights back, their protections back. And recently he has allowed transgender people into the military again after a trans ban. Which again, that comes down to my own personal biases against the military, of course. It's like, great, we can send our trans folks off to die in another country. Awesome. Fight for capitalism over in the Middle East. Cool. But I suppose the broader picture here is that by repealing that trans military ban, you're essentially saying trans people are equal to all cis people. You know, every opportunity that cis people have, trans people have, or at least that's what they're striving for, right? More about the right to have a choice, yeah. And going into the military, especially in America, which is an unfortunate institution, that it works this way, but it does make things easier for people to get an education in this or that. The final picture, okay, hang on a sec. You know, expert, but you think humans are naive in thinking they can understand the complexities of the brain. Here's a fun fact for you. The brain named itself. We categorize mental illnesses by grouping people based on similar traits that are considered not normal, which is weird because if the majority of people had autism, then those people would be considered as normal and current normal people would be considered to have a mental illness. You're absolutely right. And this is why I speculate personally that and I'm not a psychologist by any stretch of the imagination, but I speculate there is no such thing as a neurotypical person. There is no one who is more doggo. Here's some good stuff for your mental health, folks. Yeah, drop them in the Discord. True. If you're in the Discord, drop in there too, because we'll go through the animal. We'll go through the zoo. We've got a zoo. Let's have a look. What do we got? This is some posts from Max. Cat. Is it from Max? Yeah, it's from Max. Cat. Dogs. But yeah, my personal speculation, more cats, kitties, is that there are no such things as neurotypical people. I don't think there is a single person on the planet that doesn't have some form of mental disorder in some way. The issue, of course, is the categorization. A way to put an order in a medical world and should be taken as a true order for everyday person. That's the problem. Like physical illness, when in reality, the biggest picture in what is real. People just had to organize in categories like anything else, giving a sense to something that is untouchable. I know I shouldn't harp on the trans thing all the fucking time, but this is why, well, we're just about to segue into trans things. So hit us with the hot take. The thing with the trans thing, right, is that it breaks down that category that has been, and the situation is, transgender people are not a new concept. We've been around forever, okay? We've been around. We've been here. As long as people have been people, there have been trans folks. But given that our society has for so long rigidly categorized people into man and woman, anyone that falls outside, anyone who's NB, anyone who is transgender, or any of those things, that lack of categorization, or that new categorization breaking away the societal mold that so many people have become accustomed to, is just too much for a lot of people, and that's what leads to bigotries. There are too many people who are not willing to understand and comprehend and take in new information because the status quo has been the status quo for so long to them, and thus, in order to cope, they come up with ways to make us look crazy. Crazy or psychotic is probably a more adequate term. They would love trans folks to be the predators they make us out to be. But we're not. I'm just trying to be a chick and eat some sushi and buy some pretty lights and chill. You want to become a scientist to figure out how a boy becomes a boy in the womb or vice versa, and then take that data and reverse it. Interesting. That does skew into eugenics, though. That's that is dangerously eugenicist. Yeah, now I want sushi too. I would love some sushi. I can't afford it for the time being. I will admit though, I did have takes like that back before I transitioned. A few years ago though, my transition only really happened around August of last year. And prior to that, I was sort of skewing much more heavily left to begin with. But we have talked a few times. Honestly, I'm going to say around about the time I started streaming, I started to develop a more socially conscious self. So prior to that, I was a bit of an edgelord in a number of different social concepts. And one of those was I did think maybe there could be a cure for autism, and B, I thought there could be a treatment for transgender people that made them feel comfortable in their gender identity. I was a dumb fuck, basically. But yeah, we know that biologically in the womb, every embryo is born biologically female and then develops male. What do you mean reverse it? What do you mean reverse it? And there's my latest video essay, cancelled. If you haven't watched it, go give it a gander. I put a lot of effort into that one, and I'm happy with it, but I'm ever so disappointed that my Twitch highlight stuff never gets much traction. I'm live and it's not 4 AM. No, but it's 12 AM for me. Here's I want you, go watch my latest video. You're in the Discord. Welcome to the Discord. The Discord's been picking up lately. A lot of new folks coming in. $12.12. Yeah. Let me have a look. What have I got on? This is my Rogue Offline channel's homepage at the moment. There's my queen. And here's like, look, because I'm on my offline channel, my own videos get recommended to me. Maybe I should just watch them on my offline channel to give them a little bit of a minor algorithm boost. You think? Go watch it. This one, I thought this one was pretty good, but I think perhaps maybe my SEO is not the best. But then, like, I've got TubeBuddy installed. Shut the fuck up, me, for a second. I've got TubeBuddy installed. It says 80% SEO score, so maybe I need to refine that a bit. But I updated my my thumbnail, and I updated my tags and all that sort of stuff. Like, my thumbnails have changed a bit, so they're a bit more poppy. Maybe I need to change the title. I don't know. No comments on it, no. So, like, I uploaded this today, and it hasn't had a ton of traction, and I'm kind of like, you know, I would have thought this would get some action, but I don't know why it didn't. But mostly, like, anything on my main YouTube channel, it's either the video essays, which I am hoping will be the ones that bring the most attention, but I would like to have my stream highlights get some views as well. I just need to figure out the best stuff to turn into videos, and then try to find people who are interested in watching that and spread that word a bit. Oh, sushi offer. Be happy to treat me to sushi. You don't need to treat me to sushi. I appreciate the offer, though. But yeah, join the Discord if you guys have not already. Figure out what causes that. A surgery that makes one cis. Interesting. Yeah, the Contravid was great. You should check out our other stuff. The Y chromosome doesn't kick in straight away. Nipples are formed. Yeah, nipples are formed before the Y chromosome is formed. Hence men having nipples with no need for them. You're gonna go to bed, Zoasis? Have a good one, dude. Thank you so kindly for hanging out and chatting with us tonight. I appreciate you being here. The only vid you've seen of her so far, other than her session with Dr. K. I need to watch her session with Dr. K. It's weird watching someone who is so performative in a live context. In a context that is specifically, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Off the cuff, you know? I suppose that happens with, you know, interviews with actors and stuff, though. You see them in their recorded, rehearsed stuff all the time, and then you see them in a live interview and they stumble over their words and they're figuring out what to say and whatnot. Treat to sushi because it's a treat to be in your company and you want sushi. Hunter Schafer is someone I'll have to look up. I keep seeing that name around. I definitely think there were a few trans folks who were a distinct inspiration on me transitioning. And ContraPoints was one of them. Steph Sanyadi was another one of them. Like, I started looking into trans creators when I started having my gender doubts in July and August. Started looking at more and more trans creators. And then I reached out to a friend who put me in touch with someone in their life who was trans. Well, they didn't put me in touch. They gave me some advice from the perspective of someone who is close to someone who's trans. I don't want to spill personal details or anything like that, just in case. And over time, you know, finding other people who were... This is what's so important about representation, right? Is having the representation. Yeah, people don't realize how representation is so important. Again, comes back to the trans Jedi thing. Star Wars putting in a trans Jedi or Disney putting a trans Jedi in any Star Wars media, whatever they decide to do with it, is so important because people will see that representation and it will help them come to terms with themselves. And that's what came to me, is I started looking into trans creators and started thinking to myself, you know, Miabyte is another one. She's a prominent partner Twitch streamer. The one who's a big proponent for the trans tag. And there's a few other prominent trans creators in the streaming space who I see all the time on Twitter. And seeing just how normal they are is such a huge thing. They're just people who happen to be transgender, and now I'm like there. I've reached that point. There is a this is the thing. No one should ever play Fortnite. I will consider it. Here's a goal for you. Fuck the reasonable sub goal. Here's a goal for you. You folks lurk in my streams and hang out in every single stream I do. Until my average view count is 75. And for my partner, if I get to partner in 2021, here's a goal, I'm serious. Clip this, share it around social media, let's make this happen. If I get to partner in 2021, for my partner celebration stream, I will play Fortnite. There's a goal for you. And I'm going to wrap it on that note. And we'll come back tomorrow with some autism chat. I will get some sources together and we will talk autism at length. Alright, because I've been meaning to rejig my memory on that whole thing anyway. Get the knowledge flowing. Get me to partner, folks. Get me to Twitch partner, and I'll stream Fortnite. For one night only. Never gonna happen. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. We're gonna raid somebody really quickly, like. I don't know who we can go to. Who can we raid? You know what? We were going to raid him last night. We didn't. We're gonna do it now. Because I haven't seen Richie in a solid moment. So we're gonna raid Richie 2T, raid Richie 2T's, raid Shadow Legends, Richie 2T's. And I will... Oh, he came in at the end, yeah. And I will see you tomorrow at 9 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Fucking chest and stuff is hurting. Richie Shadow Legends. And I'm gonna dip in there briefly, and I'm gonna need to probably take off shortly after because I am fucking exhausted. Thanks for the hydration. Let me drop the socials on yous. If you have not already followed my Twitter, my YouTube, and my Instagram. There is a Facebook page, but it's fucking shit. I don't post on there often enough. Don't worry about it. Look up Rogue Bitch on Facebook if you got it and follow it, but don't expect much. Facebook's a fucking shit site. As usual, watch the latest YouTube video and watch my highlights if you feel like. If you've missed anything from previous streams, I will take what I consider to be the best discussions we've had on stream, and I'm turning those into highlights. So if you want to follow my YouTube channel, you can find those there, and my video essays. Folks, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Be kind to yourselves and each other, and welcome to the Rogue Room. Iced here. Thank you for joining us. Sit down, grab a drink, and hang out with Richie 2T's. Ta-ta, everybody. Love your faces.
And press 3.